starting right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, folks. Joining you here on a Monday, a sleepy Monday for us co-hosts here, July 7th, giving you some World Cup updates. I'm gonna obviously give you some NBA free agency updates. Things are moving heavy and fast in that field. And we will also be finishing up our AFC East rankings along with this week's NFC North rankings. First and foremost, here with my co-hosts as always, Emron and Brandon.
How you doing?
How's it going?
Hope you guys are doing well. And also our resident FIFA commentators, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have said it better. It is a sleepy Monday. I don't know what it is. I think the July 4th weekend kind of took a toll on us all, right?
Took a toll on everybody.
It's kind of hard for me to get back in the groove right now. I mean, so we're going to try to do our best and get you guys hyped up about the latest and greatest FIFA news. Brandon, I'll let you take it away.
Oh, man, you just going to throw it on me?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I figured we're both at the par on things. And, I wanted to get some sleep. So while you were talking, I was
just going to take a nap?
I was going to,
yeah. All right, go ahead.
Can I suggest a point that I like to speak of?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Neymar, I'd say, devastating news.
Yeah, really devastating.
That's rough
for Brazil itself. We were gonna get to that. You want to start off with Neymar? We can start off with Neymar.
We can give a rundown.
Right.
On Friday, 4th of July, you had Germany beating France 1-0.
Yeah.
A lot of people had favored France to come through.
Given the way that Germany was playing as of late, yeah, France should have, but. I mean, like we called it, Germany, Netherlands in the finals. We're not really too concerned that.
I'm not worried.
Yeah, so that wasn't a shocker to us. I knew that Germany, given the fact that they were playing a little under par in the games prior to Germany-France, that when it did come to France, that they were going to, put on their A game and come to play. So, and I believe it was Müller who scored, right? Müller?
No, it was Mats Hummels.
Oh, that's right, Hummels. Yeah, still Germany has a solid
assist by
squad.
Toni Kroos.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they have a great squad. I see Germany in the final. Like I've said before, they come out firing.
But I mean, that game was kind of if Benzema could just connect, they would have had that. France would have probably won because France's attack was looking dirty, and they were actually punching down Germany's throat. They just weren't executing.
Wasn't coming through. Yeah,
they weren't executing.
Yeah, France had 5 shots on target compared to Germany's 3.
Right.
Shots off 6. So they took 11 shots total, where Germany took 5. Looking from the ball possession, it was 50-50.
Yeah.
It was kind of an equal game.
Yeah.
Wasn't too much surprise on this one.
No.
Then in the later game on 4th of July, you had Brazil taking on Colombia. Another match where Matt ended up watching the entire match.
The entire match?
At the barbecue.
Yeah, it was 4th of July festivities were going on, so my full attention wasn't on there, but I saw the ball get kicked a few times.
Did you see anybody in particular get kicked?
Talking about Neymar? I don't remember exactly how that injury occurred. About I believe the number was 2.63 centimeters away from paralyzing.
Yeah, that's
serious.
That's really sad.
And the funny thing is, I think Colombian fans were actually mocking his injury when it happened.
I think a lot of people were. I think a lot of people that were watching from, at least from an American standpoint, you don't really realize the magnitude of these injuries until it happens, and you sit there and you're just like, "Oh, get up, he's fine." He's acting, but he's not. He was legitimately hurt.
Flopping has been a big, subject and topic in FIFA in itself, and soccer in itself, that people, getting seriously injured is just a mockery, to people, because they assume that he's over exaggerating all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But when in fact 2.36 centimeters or 2.63 centimeters, whatever have you,
from paralyzation,
right?
Yeah.
That's the end of his career, essentially. And now he can't even finish out the World Cup strong. And, Brazil hasn't lost at home in 60 years, I believe, or something like that. An absurd number, and now they lose at one of the greatest
the last time they lost was when Brazil hosted the World Cup.
Right.
So. Yeah, no, it's definitely a sad thing to see happen.
Yeah.
And especially to such a young star. Neymar is a superstar, bona fide superstar. Very sad to see it happen to him. it's upsetting. It's upsetting.
It is upsetting.
There's really no other words to put to it. In the match, went 2-1. In case you didn't get to see it, Thiago Silva scored the first goal in 7 minutes.
Right.
You had David Luiz scoring on a beautiful free kick in the 69th minute, and then you had James Rodriguez scoring on a penalty in the 80th minute, which ended up coming up too short.
Yeah.
Then on Saturday, on the 5th, you had Argentina beating Belgium. Gonzalo Higuain scoring the lone goal at the 8th minute mark.
I don't see Argentina progressing farther than Belgium.
It's funny when you watch Argentina. You got some star midfielders and strikers out there, especially in Messi, but you don't see too much heart.
No, you don't.
Especially on it feels like with Messi, he just waits because to Messi the game seems easy.
It does.
And it seems like he doesn't really wait until the last minute to
actually play.
Come out and you'll see Messi start taking some shots and whatnot. In this game against Belgium, they only had 2 shots on target, 3 shots. So once again, 5 shots.
Right.
And then Belgium only had 8 shots. So Argentina controlled possession of the game, but it wasn't. I wasn't impressed.
I mean, every time I see Argentina play, as of late, how I felt in this World Cup at least, every time I saw Argentina play, I've actually kind of been a little bored. And, I love soccer. I love some of the Argentina. Di Maria is one of my favorite players to watch. And, it's sad to say that he's actually not going to be playing in the next World Cup game. He's actually going to sit out. The doctors have told him that,
he can't play.
He can't play. So, he won't be with the Argentinian team against, I believe, Germany, or is it?
They play in Germany.
Yeah, so against Germany, it's not going to happen. But since the beginning of the World Cup,
I'm sorry, they're playing Netherlands. They're playing Netherlands.
Okay,
yeah,
so that's what I thought. All right, so Argentina against Netherlands. Di Maria will not be there. Di Maria is actually one of their fastest players on Argentina, and they actually need that. Against Robin, who is, if not the fastest player in that whole entire game. If just in general, FIFA right now today, I think Robin might be the fastest player. Next to who's probably faster than him. Right?
Faster than Robin?
Yeah.
I'd say Ronaldo.
On the ball, though?
Yeah. I would say Ronaldo.
I'll put Messi before Ronaldo, and Messi's faster. But Messi was faster than Ronaldo at a point in time.
I would say Ronaldo's a bit faster.
You still think so?
Yeah. I would say he's one of the fastest on the ball in the game.
Right. Okay, well, regardless, in that game in itself, Argentina versus Netherlands, Robin is a critical asset with speed and ball handling, and him being just a disgusting striker with Van Persie on his side as well.
Mm-hmm.
Argentina, you can't have losing Di Maria, who is next to Higuain and Messi, kind of playing the mid striker range. You need that back. You need to have 4 strikers. And Di Maria being out is kind of like, it's not a crutch to them, but it's also kind of weakens their ability to play against Netherlands. Who's, I think Netherlands' defense is much better than Argentina's defense, but they still lack defense.
Right.
Both teams lack defense. They're both very top-heavy on the offensive side, but when it comes to defense, I give Netherlands the one-up on Argentina, and I think that one-up will be Argentina's demise, especially given the fact that Argentina hasn't really shown me what they can do this World Cup. For them to be this far, I think is, partially luck. But at the same time, they do have the skills, so I can't really always say that. It's just that they're not coming to play every game that I've seen them play in.
Mm-hmm. No, there's a lot of they seem passive almost.
Very passive.
And they're just letting it slide. We'll wait, let it come to us. So I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
well, next
going to Germany, huh?
No, well, you got Netherlands and Costa Rica. Don't count that one out.
Oh, that's right.
That one came out to penalty kicks. That was
a great game.
That was a great game.
I give, you know what? So Will said it here first. Our guest, shout out to Ill Will, Crazy Talk with Ill Will, friend of the program. He said it here. He said Costa Rica all the way.
Yeah, he was close.
He was. I give
Very
him props.
close.
I mean, he did take the underdog. Respect for him taking the underdog. Costa Rica played their heart out. Respect to Costa Rica in general, because they played a hell of a game against Netherlands. And Netherlands didn't really have an answer for them until it came to the PKs. I mean, you saw in extra time a little bit, Netherlands would come here and get, like, oh, you kind of get excited, get out your seat,
Right.
or vice versa. Costa Rica would be doing the same thing, but none of them actually connected. And then PKs, we knew how that story was going to go. I mean, Netherlands have been strikingly amazing when it comes to penalty kicks.
Well, how about the Netherlands taking out their keeper
Right.
for the PKs? That's a huge deal, and
Yeah.
it paid off.
It did.
You take out your keeper, he held you to a 0-0 tie all the way through, but you're going to put in a new keeper for PKs, and it ended up working out in Netherlands' favor. That was
he did block a couple shots, if I'm not mistaken. If not, I know one for sure. So
huge deal. The keeper for Costa Rica, Keylor Navas, he was doing work. Netherlands had 12 shots on target, 7 shots off target. So,
Right.
They were just firing away. The Netherlands completely controlled that game, and it's astonishing that it just went to PKs. That was the only way the game was decided, because Netherlands definitely should have. They had a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities. If I give you the stats, it's 11 corners, 64% ball possession, 12 shots on target, 7 off target. That's
19 shots total.
That's a dominating performance.
Yeah, that's a dominating
and
performance.
You get no goals out of it.
Right. I mean, it's just like me playing FIFA sometimes. I have 23 shots on our friend Michael Ganem, and 15 are on target. Right, and I'm thinking that's 45 shots I have on Ganem throughout the whole
And you end up
time.
losing still.
And I still have this, and I'm like, he has 1 for 1. And I'm thinking his goalie must be Tim
It
Howard.
happened to me over the weekend. Actually, I was playing Ganem.
So it bugs me sometimes, but I can see the frustration in the player's eyes, and I can see the frustration in my eyes when I'm holding the controller. So I relate to the Netherlands in that situation in itself. So, but they did come through with a clutch. Our prediction is not wrong yet. We're still hopeful. We got another round left of elimination, and then hopefully we can then see Germany versus Netherlands, who we predicted. I think it was in the group match first. I believe we had caught it in the group match right in the beginning of the World Cup that Germany Netherlands was going to be in the finals, and I think we both said Netherlands was going to take it, right? Yeah. I think I went with Netherlands was going to take it. It's a tough call because I think Germany has a lot of great talent on their team. They're definitely defensively a better team than the Netherlands, but offensively they both have great weapons, and they're both very, very good at striking and attacking the goal in itself. So I just want to see a good game.
So you still holding true to your pickings before, right?
Yeah.
Brazil. Brazil losing to Germany and Netherlands beating over Argentina.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Yeah. I got the same way. You want to give out a little prediction on the final score
of the Germany-Netherlands game?
No, for the Germany-Brazil game.
Okay, the Germany-Brazil game, I will say 2-0 Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Germany will take it 2-0. I think I want to give Brazil the benefit of the doubt and say that they will score, but the fact that they're losing Neymar is a big. It's not huge, but it's still a big deal because Neymar is a gifted player that kind of creates a lot of open shots for Brazil.
See, I want to say that against Colombia, Neymar didn't show up at all. Neymar was
he wasn't. I mean, you're right.
He didn't get hurt until I want to say
towards the end of the game.
Let me see if I can pull that up. He didn't get hurt until the 88th minute.
Right.
So that was way late in the game. He wasn't really doing much. I didn't see too much out of him. So.
But if you look back at, it's not like Argentina how they never showed up in the World Cup. If you look back at the World Cup, Neymar has been a critical factor.
Exactly. No, he's a top goal scorer.
And just because one game he must have been off, something must have been wrong. He must have been sick. And then worst comes to worst, the 88th minute you get hurt where it's almost paralysis.
Right.
I mean that's just bad luck. So I just don't think that it was his time. I think that Friday. In Brazil, it might have been Friday the 13th type of situation. Friday the 4th, who knows? It might be a kind of like a bad omen, and he kind of got stuck with that, and hopefully he gets better. We hope to see you back in full health, because we never wish upon anybody to get paralysis, especially playing a great sport and doing the things that you do.
Yeah,
but
on that, I see Brazil scoring at least one goal. I'm going to go 2-1 Germany.
I wanted to say 2-1, but I'm gonna stick with 2-0.
I'm gonna go 2-1
stick with
Germany,
2-0.
and then Netherlands, Argentina.
Hold that next prediction, Brandon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I needed to update you guys on a few things. First of which being, in case our listeners don't know, we are being brought to you out of an Ashburn studio here in Nova, and we do record out of a basement. And recently, when we've been down here, my phone service has not been very good. I hate to say it, but recently I did switch over to Sprint.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and my service has been fantastic recently. And in case our listeners didn't know, tonight's program is being brought to you by Sprint.
What are the odds?
And not only can you switch your
What are
phone
the
service
odds?
over to them, they also have a wide variety of products you can buy, like the new Samsung Galaxy 3 tablet starting at $49.99 from Sprint. And
a great deal.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is a great deal. Our listeners should look into that. And while we take a little time here, I wanted to update our listeners on a few polls we had put on the site the past few weeks. You guys, if you didn't listen, go back and listen to our sports movie talk. But we put some polls on there and got some results back. We had 2 different categories: a favorite sports film and favorite children's sports film. I'll start off with the children's because a suggestion we got from a viewer ended up winning that result.
Space Jam.
Space Jam
Yes.
took it with about
The Monstars.
40%. Second was The Little Giants with 33%.
Hey man, you coming up there?
Yeah. Sandlot
Still
came in
winning the
at
championship.
a respectable 13%. And then Cool Runnings and Mighty Ducks were both around 6 to 7%.
Did
No,
we
ma.
talk about Mighty Ducks?
We didn't. I
We
put it on the
didn't.
poll though because after the fact I realized.
How did we not talk about Mighty Ducks? I feel like every time
it's because
we
it's
were-
hockey and
But we didn't
don't-
even talk about Cool Runnings either.
We didn't talk
remember?
about Cool Runnings, but I put that on the list
that's
as
true.
well.
But how did we not talk
And we
about Mighty
missed
Ducks?
Space Jam. So
I know.
God bless.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mighty
there's a
Ducks
lot of
was a
classics.
huge favorite of
Yeah.
mine.
And then the other category we did was favorite sports film, and first one was Rocky. That blew everything out of the water with 42.8%.
Didn't we miss that as well?
We
Yeah.
no,
No,
we
we
I
talked
brought
about
Rocky.
it. Oh,
That
that's
was
right,
one
we
of the
did
first
bring
ones
up
I brought
Rocky,
up.
that's right, that's
Second was Remember the Titans, which was 28.5.
Oh, the
Then
classic.
Any Given Sunday, 14.5%.
That's my personal favorite.
And
I
then
love Any Given Sunday.
Other was 14%. So
Ooh.
there are movies that I did not. The other movies I had on the list were Rudy, Field of Dreams, Hoosiers, and A League of Their Own.
Okay.
You know what? I'll be completely honest. I've never seen all of Rudy,
Okay.
and I've never watched Hoosiers.
I'm in the same boat actually. I mean, I've seen part of Hoosiers, just never finished it, and I've never seen all of Rudy.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly could not tell you.
We
what
might need to
Hoosiers
get.
is about.
We might need to kind of get educated in that.
Yeah.
And have a sports movie night.
Yeah, we have to
And
do that.
if you guys ever want to vote on another poll of ours, go to our cover3.weebly.com, brought to you by ACES, Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports, and vote on a poll. We got a new one up today about some of the topics that we're talking about today, like the NFC North and the ever in the news Johnny Manziel. And last week we had some polls up there about EJ Manuel, the AFC East, and we'll update you those through some other commercial
You know, I'm
breaks.
thinking that we do a movie night sometime soon with some Chicago deep dish style pizza from Uno's. Another one of our,
That sounds
another one of
great.
our, supporters, sponsors. And I love their pizza. I know that much.
Yes.
So movie night with some Chicago Uno's deep dish style pizza.
That
I'm
sounds
down
great.
with that. Get
And-
kind of educated on that. Hoosiers and Rudy.
Yep, sounds like a plan. And
Yeah, they love their Hoosiers out in Indiana.
oh yeah,
My grandparents live
they
out there.
certainly
Oh boy.
do. Okay, and listeners, back to our FIFA World Cup recap. Believe everybody go into what game was that, Brandon?
We were going into Argentina, Netherlands.
Yes, we were.
So, what's your prediction on that? The goal.
Okay, well, we can recap. So before the commercial break, you said 2-1, Germany's going to take it over Brazil, and I said 2-0, Germany against Brazil.
Yeah, I don't see Brazil not scoring. They're at home.
Yeah.
They're gonna have the fans rallying. I do not see them not scoring.
I just think that, Mertesacker in the backfield for Germany can kind of hold them to that. But, moving on, it'll be a good game. We'll have to watch together, So, back to Argentina, Netherlands. Argentina defense is absolutely atrocious. Netherlands defense probably follows with that, and also just as
I wouldn't
atrocious.
say absolutely atrocious for Netherlands defense, but they're pretty
They're-
bad.
So they're like on the cusp of bad and atrocious, while Argentina's like below atrocious, So I give them the
Yeah,
fact that they have
yeah.
a better defense than Argentina, but they're both super top heavy. Like, I mean, I don't have an analogy right now because
It's like a Muscle Bob at the gym, who lives.
Who never works out.
Never works out the legs. Always skips legs. You don't want to be Muscle Bob. You don't want big torso, big arms, big everything except for your legs. You got little legs, so you don't want to be Muscle Bob, and that's what they're looking like, Muscle Bob.
They are. They're very chicken legs. The chicken legs out there, and Argentina. You're skipping too many leg days, boy. Come on. You're skipping too many leg days. I mean, next to you, too, Netherlands. I mean, you might do the occasional calf raises, but we're not. We need the whole, momentum squats, the quad extensions or hamstrings. I don't even know the workout name.
You just need to do some squats.
It's a long Monday. But anyways, you guys need to work on your legs. And with that being said, you guys need to work on your defense. I think Netherlands is going to take it. I think Netherlands is going to go popping off 3-0 against Argentina.
Whoa.
3-0. I think Netherlands attack. Well, you know what? Matter of fact, I lied. 3-1. I'm going to give it 3-1.
Whoa.
I'm going to go 3-1. Netherlands is going to take it.
A little less bold.
I had to go for it. We've had an outlandish statement in the last two shows, and I had to say it.
You made up for it.
BG has not given me the warm of an outlandish statement. So, I had to say it. 3-1.
3-1.
Netherlands taking it, baby. Let's go.
I see this one coming to PKs.
The worst way to end any sporting event on earth.
I think it's the best. I love penalty kicks. I get excited for penalty kicks.
It seems like you just wasted an hour. It's like you wasted an hour and a half of gameplay.
Well, actually,
let's see who happens to. Which way does the goalie decide to jump?
Actually, in soccer, it's 120 minutes.
Okay, an hour and a half. It's roughly an hour and a half.
Well, 120 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're sitting at.
So they're wasting a full 2 hours. Now they're gonna guess which way they're gonna kick the ball,
and that's without additional time.
Yeah,
that's without the PK.
So realistically, you're looking at almost 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours of great soccer. That's what it is.
I'm thinking it's going to come to penalty kicks, but I can see it going 2-2. We're going to penalty kicks.
So you think it's going to be 2-2 penalty kicks? Give me a score before you go to penalty kicks.
It's going to be penalty kicks, but
2-2? That was more outlandish than what I said. I don't see 4 goals being scored equally distributed.
You said 3-1.
I said equally
distributed. You said 3-1. That's 4 goals.
Distributed.
That's 4 goals.
I said equally distributed amongst 2 teams to go to PK.
You know what? I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say 2-2.
If you say 2-2,
going to PKs.
We can do a 4-goal differential because I have 4 goals as well.
You do.
I'll give you that. 3-1, 2-2. I think it'll be 1-1 if it were to go into PK. If not 0-0, but I don't see it going to PK if somebody scores. I think it's 3-1 still.
2-2, and then you really don't know who's going to win next because it is.
No, I still got Netherlands winning.
Okay, based on what in PKs? What have they proven to you? Because it's such a crapshoot.
Well, I mean,
you're guessing. The goalie is literally guessing which direction to jump to block.
Matt just loves to make a mockery.
I have to bring those points up.
You know what? The Netherlands have already been in the penalty shootout this World Cup. I don't believe Argentina has.
Argentina has not. I don't think.
I don't believe they have. I can.
A quick stat.
I can. If you want to grab that.
I'll pull it up. But
I don't believe Argentina has gone through penalty kicks at all this World Cup.
No, they have not.
All right, there we go. And Netherlands already have. They just came out of a penalty kick. Contest to end the game.
What he's saying is this swagger is high. I mean, the Netherlands coach took
right.
out the goalie to bring in a fresh goalie just for PKs. I mean, imagine how nerve-wracking that you haven't played the whole game, 120 minutes, coming off the sideline, just warming up, and gonna come and play the most nervous.
Yeah,
that's like.
I feel like that just goes to show you that it's even more of a crap. Like it doesn't matter who's sitting in the goal because they're gonna guess which way they're jumping.
But you know what? We had Netherlands had a keeper. He was already ready.
Yeah.
He was already ready, and they practice for PKs all the time.
Yeah.
When they're at practice, when you're shooting on a keeper, that's pretty much you're doing the same thing.
As a PK.
You're pretty much shooting PKs. You're not. I mean, of course, you have in-game scenarios at practice, but a lot of times you're shooting penalty shots.
You got penalty shots, free kicks, all
exactly.
Sorts of things. So the goalie's always working.
They're always working, and I definitely see. I see it coming to penalty kicks, and I see Netherlands pulling through. They have
2-2 penalty kicks.
Yeah, they got Robin van Persie, Arjen Robben, Wesley Sneijder.
Mm-hmm.
With those 3 right there, I'm not counting against them. They got Argentina's got Messi, but
I forgot some players on.
That's all right. They got Messi. That's the biggest star you're looking for right there. and he's only one man. He can only shoot one penalty kick unless it recycles. I don't see it getting to the point where we're recycling. I see somebody missing. So I'm still sticking by my guns. 2-2 penalty kicks, but Netherlands is gonna pull through, and it's gonna be Netherlands-Germany in the final.
I do agree with you. Netherlands Germany in the final. What do you think is going to fare? What do you think the score is going to be for the finals? Let's give a hypothetical situation. Netherlands Germany comes to finals like we predicted, and it hasn't gotten there yet.
Right, but we're close.
We're pretty damn close. And if that's the case,
almost as good as Spurs in
we're
5.
We're gonna have to make Matt a shirt saying Netherlands and Germany, and we love soccer on the back.
I'll make sure that I leave it at home.
I'll make sure that shirt never comes on.
You might have to wear it, on the show.
No.
But
That's not even into it. Matt's just like, no, not even if it was a rainy day. I still wouldn't put it on.
I'll wear my AC Extreme Sports
I think
shirt.
you'd wear a cowboy shirt for a soccer shirt.
No, that's false. I'll wear a FUTBOL until I die, rather than a Dallas Cowboy Jerry World jersey.
There's a lot of hate in that statement.
But
you know what?
Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed today?
No.
This Monday looks pretty grinchy on your side of the table, bro.
Oh, I'm good. I'm positive right now.
Are you?
Yeah. My opinion on penalty kicks just lowered the mood a little bit, just because I can't. After watching it finally go down, like in a match that I watched the whole time, I just can't get behind it. It's just a way to end a game that's just to me, it's like if a football game, when you go into overtime, they just kick 50-yard field goals. Or 60-yard field goals.
But in football, Americano, it's not the same because it's, you're moving the ball with less than field goal. You don't want the cheap shot.
That's what I mean. It's just.
What would you suggest?
Well, hold on, wait. Quick question. Do you watch hockey at all?
Very rarely. Similar to
are you a fan of the penalty shootout? Have you watched?
No. In hockey, I have probably the same opinion.
Do you not watch enough to know?
I don't watch enough, but I feel like in hockey though you have probably a better chance to make it than not a better chance, but. How would I phrase this? I just don't think that everything you've done up to that point in the game should be predicated on a formation and a gameplay that doesn't happen during the rest of the game. Penalty kicks happen
you did have a penalty
throughout
kick.
the game. Yeah, no, they happen throughout the game if there's a penalty.
Right.
But they're not used to they don't just go out there in the middle of the game and 5 people go out and kick balls at the net. You know what I mean?
Well, then what about foul shots? Because, there's a lot of times where you're just playing foul, hack-a-shack.
Yeah.
At the last seconds of the game.
It's just parts of it. I feel like it just undermines what you've done throughout the whole game. Because then it's just okay, we're done now. We're going to go out and kick the PKs. And whoever scores more, whichever goalie guesses which way to jump better, wins the game. It's just, it's not something I can give. If I'm ever playing FIFA with friends and I decide how we're going to end the game, if it's tied, I would probably choose golden goal.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the most logical thing.
I like classic. Because then you get the actual
the 120,
and then you get the penalty kicks if you miss it. I'm all about the penalty shots.
Yeah.
All about them.
You haven't played FIFA at our house in a long time. I know Matt.
Oh no, we never. I played. We never do penalty shots.
Never do penalty shots.
I'm a huge fan of penalty shots.
Do them?
Because it's realistic. It's what happens in the game.
I know, but
I am the game. I create the game. You know what? I challenge any one of our friends if they're watching to a game of FIFA, and I guarantee you I'll win.
You know what? Come over because unlike we're gonna have a little game banter real quick. Unlike we have the elite systems. We're in next gen.
No. You have the elite system.
Matt's got an elite system also.
I've had it for since it came out.
Yeah, me and Matt got the one around the same time.
Yeah.
So why don't you come over? Play on the elite system.
Fair enough. I'll play.
Because we're on next gen.
Hold on. Do you not remember the first time I played on your next gen system? What happened?
We're not talking about that. Anyways, back to soccer.
Lisa can attest.
Before we get back to soccer, I did open up a tab here to do a little research mid-program about penalty kicks, and you know what immediately popped up? My homepage of my computer, which is AOL.com. AOL is sponsor of our show here at Cover 3 and Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports. You can find all the great news there.
You've got mail.
News of just today, your mail. I saw my AOL email, your latest news, entertainment, finance. It's I know, Brandon. My advertising plugs are
God, you were good.
spot on. They cannot get any better. They just. I'm
So how's the search engine on AOL? Is it?
Oh, it works great.
Amazing?
I type in right now penalty kicks.
Oh,
And you know what pops up?
What's the top link?
First thing, penalty kicks are not the correct way to decide a victor of a sporting event. There we go.
I don't think
But
AOL
it immediately gives you the top results of everything you need. It obviously brings you to the wiki page, first link. First top news story: Netherlands beat Costa Rica in penalty shootout to reach World Cup.
Yeah.
They're looking for keywords and what you're looking for. Get your AOL email going. I don't know what you guys are doing, but you guys got to get on top of your AOL game. Set that to your homepage.
Clearly, I'm gonna do that right now.
AOL,
as we speak.
sponsor of our program here at Cover 3, along with ACES, Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports. And AOL also sponsors our other programs, such as The Amateurs or The Five Knuckle Hustle, a great blog you can find about the WWE on our site at acextremesports.com. That is ACXTREME.com. And at some point here in the program in the future, guys, I think we'll talk about a little wrestling.
We plugged that so much.
We did, but it's the sort of thing where we got to watch a little bit more. And I have been a very, not anti-wrestling in the past, but very pro the fact that it is fake. But you know what? It's an entertaining program.
I mean, don't get
It's
me
something
wrong.
that if you sit down and watch it for a few weeks in a row, or at least you know slightly of what's going on, and you see the comedy side of it, and it's somewhat entertaining. You're not really bored throughout the time.
I mean, when I was 10 years old, all about Kane, Mankind,
Yeah.
the Hardy
I was
Boys,
too, but-
X-Pac, and Axel Foley, Big Show, and Rikishi, and I was all about it. I loved it. But then again, I was also 10 years old.
Oh, I know.
I went up to maybe 12 years old, 13 years old watching. I loved Royal Rumble, and I loved the Showdown, and I'm actually kind of excited to get back into it.
yeah,
So
something that's interesting.
So you guys are down to do it?
I believe.
I will give it
Yes.
I
Yes.
believe that
Yes.
we will speak
Yes.
on WWE.
Yes.
I will
Yes.
give it one chance. All right,
Oh,
you
there
have
we
one
go.
chance to win my heart.
That's
at
all right.
WWE.
Yes.
All right.
Our first topic will be of Stardust and how hilarious that character is. His cartwheels in the ring. But that's for another program, guys. We'll get back to our talk here. Is there anything you guys want to finish up on the World Cup before we...
Let's give our prediction of the score for Germany Netherlands. Go ahead, Brent. I'll let you. I blessed it first. You can bless it now.
Germany, Netherlands. I see Netherlands pulling out. That's going to be a close one.
Is this a new thing that we do on the show?
This is BG's mantra instead of his corner.
I think he's got the Bee Gees. I don't think we're at the mantra just yet.
God, that's tough.
Come on, man.
Probably-
I'd love to hear it.
I'm going to go 1-0.
He took the words right out of my mouth because I was going to say 1-0 Netherlands. So
Yeah, I got 1-0 Netherlands.
I think 1-0 in the full 90, not in the extra time. I think 1-0 in the full 90, Netherlands takes it.
Yeah. Oh. The more that I think about the more time, I don't want to say 1-0. But you know what? I'm a man of my word. I'm going to stick by it. We can lock that in, send it out.
Full 90 or you got additional time?
Full 90. I don't see it. I don't see it being 0-0 for long.
Yeah.
God, I'm locking it in. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's just lock it in, send it out, ship it away. Let's go.
All right, there we go.
It's like
Next day delivery.
It's like a love letter. I just sent it out. I don't want to see anything back.
Where's the owl at? Is he coming to get it? Pigeon? What were they?
Anyways, what?
We'll go past the Harry Potter references and move
Oh,
on.
is that what that was?
And,
I saw the first Harry Potter movie.
Clearly you're not versed in the
Sorry.
Harry Potter films.
No, not at all.
That's for our
Come on,
entertainment
guys.
segment that we'll
I don't
probably...
even first think of the films. I think of the books.
I read the first
Get
book.
on your Harry Potter game, guys. Get on your Harry Potter game.
I'm a visual learner, so
Okay, yeah.
I visually
It's a
saw the
great
Harry Potter
series.
films.
Okay.
I read the
But
first book.
NBA, as I said at the beginning of the program, things are moving very quickly at this time of the year. The big names have not fallen yet, those being LeBron and Melo, and I guess Bosch is also a very big name, seeing as how people want to, yes, the dinosaur himself. People want to give him a max contract, specifically the Rockets, but no one has really signed yet except for with the Heat. Josh McRoberts signs with the Heat. And moves like this are making waves on both sides of the fence. I see people talking here on forums and comment boards that basically Cavs fans, go get your LeBron number 6 jerseys now. People are saying this means that LeBron is staying with the Heat.
Danny Granger also signed.
Yeah, he signed with the Heat also.
So, you can't beat him. You go to LA for a season and then you join him. Because, Danny Granger was on the Pacers and went to the Clippers and now he's on the Heat.
Yeah.
I think LeBron.
What is that going to help him stay in Miami?
No, I'm telling you, I'm sticking by it. I told y'all from the get-go that LeBron is leaving.
Do you have
and nobody wanted to listen to me.
Do you have a better idea on where he's going now?
Is he going to Cleveland?
It's looking like Cleveland, but you know what? Everyone's saying anything except for LeBron and his camp. It's all his agent leaking out little things here and there.
Well, here's the interesting thing about LeBron going back to Cleveland. If you guys aren't
it's a feel-good story.
An anti-feel-good story if you're a Cavs fan. Back when the infamous decision was made, people in Cleveland rioted. They burned jerseys. Right. And the owner, which was probably a very childish thing to do at the time, released a very passionate letter that said that, mark my words, guaranteed, the Cavs will win a championship before LeBron wins a championship. Right. That letter that he made, very public, has been on the Cavaliers website for the past 4 years.
Did anybody know that? Did anyone know that?
I'm sure very angry Cavs fans sat in their basements with their burned LeBron jerseys hanging.
They're looking for it.
Yeah.
Where is it? Why is it in here today?
But
it's the anniversary.
They are grabbing those jerseys back.
Well, exactly. I've seen pictures of people wearing their burned jerseys.
I have too.
But that goes to show me that they were doing that out of popularity of the situation to begin with, because why would you save a burned jersey?
They're all spiteful people.
Yeah,
they love the player, but they're all spiteful.
The point of bringing the letter up, he removed that letter from the site today. Or sometime within the last 24, 48 hours.
I'm looking for it now.
That letter was removed from the site.
I just want to know who picked that up. Who noticed that? Oh my God, Dan Gilbert's letter isn't here anymore. What do we do?
Hey, I'm sure there's people for the Charlotte. Oh, I guess they're the Hornets now.
Yeah.
I was about to say Bobcats. Thank God we do not have to say Charlotte Bobcats anymore for an NBA franchise.
Feels really, really good.
Yeah, to say Charlotte Hornets as a franchise.
But you know what?
I'm sure to compare, I'm sure there's people that know a lot about the Hornets website and things like that. The Cavs fans, it's something they might have looked at as.
I would prefer the Bobcats over the Pelicans any day. I think the Bobcats sound a little bit better than the New Orleans Pelicans.
But the Bobcats were just. I remember when I first saw them when they joined the league back in I don't know. I was playing NBA Live or 2K.
I think it was 2004, and their first pick was Adam Morrison.
Yeah.
With the mustache out of Gonzaga.
And I remember thinking at first when I played the game, I thought, what is this team? Is this a real team in the NBA? Because I thought it might have just been
Remember when they used to put on the Echo Unlimited teams on that?
The iguanas and stuff like that? Yeah. That's what I thought it was at first. And now they've been a team, and they've only been to the playoffs, once, I think, since they're
in the playoffs last year.
Okay, so they've been making strides a few times in the playoffs in the past decade. But hopefully having their old logo and color. I mean, it's somewhat of a new logo. But
they weren't even
their old name and colors back. Maybe that gives them a boost.
They weren't even that good when they were the Hornets.
I know.
They had a couple seasons with
they could have
Alonzo Mourning and. God, I can't even.
And Kobe didn't want to come to town, or was he drafted? They traded him away.
They traded him
away. So Kobe could have been the saving grace.
Could have
been the saving grace.
But then they said,
"Deuces."
Just like Portland.
See you later, Kobe.
They could have had Jordan.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And they didn't get him.
Well, they did have.
Greg Oden?
Clive Drexler.
No, they did have,
I mean, that's somewhat of a good
Bill Walton
compensation prize for not having.
You had Bill Walton at one point too,
Michael.
I mean, that's living back in the heyday of the
basketball. I guess you're like, oh well, we had Bill Walton at one point, so we can't go too much further down.
But what are they now?
Whoa!
The Blazers are squadding up. All right.
What were they in the past?
Exactly.
What were they in the past?
You know what?
That's what I'm saying. So I give them.
Can we make a PSA right now for LeBron to go to Portland?
Here, we're gonna do this real quick. LeBron. The following PSA has been brought to you by the good folks at Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports and the Cover 3 podcast. Hey,
LeBron,
It's Portland.
it's Portland.
Colvin, you won again.
We want you to come.
Yeah.
Come out to Portland. Join LaMarcus Aldridge and Damian Lillard.
We'll get you a championship.
I know you like those rings. Come get some more.
It's the move to make.
I would love to see LeBron go to Portland. Actually,
It would be amazing.
Never
But you know
gonna
what?
happen.
I'd be
but-
a Portland fan.
Oh, we know that.
I would be a Portland fan.
If LeBron signed
You know
with
what?
the Jaguars as a punter, you'd be
A Jaguars, yes,
fan.
yes, you're damn right. I would be a Jaguars punter. I'd have the LeBron James punter jersey from the
Number 6
Jacksonville
jersey.
Jaguars.
Let me say this. The main reason why I do not like, I'm not a LeBron James fan. I can acknowledge that he's the best player in the world, and he's an amazing athlete.
Yes.
And, you know, it's just me hating.
Yes.
The only reason I cannot stand LeBron James is because he snubbed the Knicks. Everyone forgets about the Knicks and how LeBron James wanted to go to the Knicks. He was showing up at Yankees games wearing a Yankees hat and talked about going to Madison Square Garden and wanting to play there. Everyone forgets that. So until LeBron leaves Miami,
And goes to New York.
well, you know what? He can leave Miami and go anywhere else, and I wouldn't have a
Okay.
problem. It's the fact that he snubbed the Knicks and went to
Miami.
Miami that made me so mad.
You know
Went
what
to
else?
South Beach, as
He
said.
he did play in Madison Square Garden, and he showed y'all what it is to lose in Madison Square Garden countless times over and over again to LeBron James. All right, FYI.
I'm sorry, was I supposed to care? Jordan did the same thing. I still like Jordan.
But you
It's
you respected Jordan. You
But
always
it's the
liked
fact
Jordan.
that
But
Jordan-
you hated
I mean,
LeBron because he snubbed y'all.
No, it's
And-
it's besides the fact that he snubbed us. It's the fact that he left Cleveland and didn't go to New York like he said, and went to Miami
I don't
as
think
soon
he
as it was
said
like.
I think he gave y'all.
Yo,
hope.
nah.
Yeah,
He was
gave
saying
y'all hope.
he was saying back in like 08, I want to go to
Play
the
at the
Knicks.
Garden.
I want to play at the Garden. I want the bright lights. I want all that.
He played at
and
the
all the
Garden.
advertising money that New York brings. And then he was like, "Oh wait, D Wade, Chris Bosh, y'all going out to
Oh
Miami?
wait, South
I want
Beach,
to come."
The money in Miami. Oh,
Yo,
wow, the beautiful weather.
no,
oh,
stop.
wow, the cold.
Stop. Don't even
hot,
say-
hot, cold. I
Don't-
would chose Miami over New York.
Don't even say that there's more money in Miami than there is in New York in terms of
never-
advertising.
I never
Because you
said-
said the money in Miami.
I
There ain't
never
money
said
in
there's
Miami
more
like there is in
money.
New York.
I never said there's more money in advertising in Miami than there is in New York. I said just the money in Miami. There's money in Miami.
Yeah, of course. There's money everywhere.
Yeah.
You got more people walking
You
around
got
with money.
money in Miami.
If
And you got money in New
If
York.
you're going to the big three like teams in New York, the Giants, the Knicks, or who would be the third team in that?
The Yankees.
You're making money. You're
Yeah, of
going to
course.
those teams.
Caking.
And-
Of course.
Yeah, so like,
The Johnny Manziel signal. I would do that.
Yeah.
That's how much money you're making.
Absolutely. I never said that, New York doesn't have the money. I would love to go play in, any of the New York franchises just because they have buku.
We don't want
That's
you.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't want to
want
go
you.
there. I'm
You just
saying,
said you would love to.
what
for the
about
money.
sadly a place?
I'm like, you know what? Darrell Reeves is going for the money.
No, I feel like Darrell Revis felt like yes, he was going for the money, but
Where was Darrell Reeves after that?
well, he was in Tampa.
For the money. Because
Tampa was gonna really give him a shot.
Tampa gave him a fully not guaranteed contract.
He had no money guaranteed.
He was
But he-
injury prone.
Yeah, but
they still gave him a pretty fat contract, not
He did.
guaranteed.
But he
Right?
did go and sign a contract that was worth it was worth less money than this contract Aqib Talib signed. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So I feel like he's at a point in his career where Richard Sherman and Patrick Peterson and Joe Hayden, guys like that, the young studs,
Right.
are starting to take over his title as
Yeah.
best. But not to get too off topic, but this plug was going to work a little bit better before we talked about NFL. But I was going to say that too bad we're never going to see LeBron come to the greater Washington, D.C. area. As you guys know, we're out of Northern Virginia. Because if he did, he could train in the offseason at EP, Explosive Performance. And one of our resident FIFA commentators here is a former EP recruit. What can you tell us about the good guys over there at EP?
Yeah, let us
Brandon?
know.
Well, if you're at EP, you're definitely you're getting your money's worth. You're burnt out. You're tired. You can't walk anymore. It's hard to walk down the stairs afterwards.
So that's like a stroll in the park for LeBron James.
Yeah, did you see that? Did you see that?
Pulls tires.
Yeah,
down.
he-
my
he's
God,
man.
Yeah.
But you know what?
On vacation, he's pulling tires.
You know what though? You can do that at EP.
Yeah.
I'll be pulling pina
You can
coladas
do
on
that at
vacation.
You can definitely.
You
do
could,
that.
yeah.
I guess you ain't got no explosive performance, boy. If you pulling them pina coladas, and we'll get
Explosive
pulling
enough
tires.
to crack them coconuts
But-
and make a pina colada from freshness.
We'll never get to see LeBron at EP, but you know who will be at EP? the good folks over at the Stonebridge Athletic Program. They'll be training at EP here in the Ashburn area, and they'll be getting their game on top to hopefully take that title.
Your guys' alma mater, right?
Our alma
That's
mater.
right.
It very much so is. Class of 2010.
I can respect Stonebridge for that, given that two of my co-hosts went there, and I had the majority of my friends from Stonebridge.
Did we have a fight song?
If y'all had to keep it to yourself, because let's get back to the show.
Hey, if you know the Stonebridge fight song, send it to us.
Yeah.
We'd like to see that.
Yeah.
And if you know the Briar Woods fight song, and if you're listening out there, just send it to me.
Yeah, and you could maybe, if we do get a fight song, you'll hear it. You could even see us react to it on air at Ustream, and coming soon, YouTube as well. We're
Live stream on YouTube.
Live stream on YouTube.
Excitement.
And the things you can all be looking forward to here, but you can also always hear us at Podbean. Do a quick search on Podbean for Cover 3 Podcast.
The first,
You'll be able to find us there.
link.
And you can find the link for that at cover3.weebly.com if you're visiting our site often and taking some polls, reading our most recent thoughts.
I'm
Back
sure you
in
can
the
also
NBA.
find us at our sponsor,
You certainly
acextremesports.com,
can.
and
You certainly
they
can.
highlight on our blogs and our podcast
They
themselves.
are.
So if all else fails, please visit us
Yeah.
at acextremesports.com. That's acxstremesports.com, where you find all your latest and greatest blogs, and you will definitely find us.
One of not Melo, but LeBron's teammates, who's also rumored to be leaving. I feel like it's a nail in the coffin now with these signings. Chris Bosh has been offered a max deal with Houston.
4
And-
years, $96
Yeah,
million.
I don't get
Show
it.
me the money.
Yeah,
Show me the
so
money.
Melo went to Houston, did not like it. Bosh went to Houston. They want to pay him ridiculous amounts of money. What is that, $24 million a year?
You know what?
Is that
That's
what that
almost
is?
like Jerry Jones giving Tony Romo a 5-year or 6-year, $105 million contract. I don't believe it.
Whoa.
I don't believe it.
You know what? The thing is, though, Chris Bosh has got championship rings, plural. Tony Romo's got an all-star appearance.
Because of LeBron James.
Whoa. But
Hey, hold on, wait a second. Hey, hold on, wait, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Trent Dilfer still has a Super Bowl ring, and that wasn't because of him.
Yeah, and has anybody on the Cowboys survived the Jurassic era and still alive to this day? Chris Bosh is still alive and kicking. Come on, guys.
He must be a valuable player.
Endangered species
If
out
this
here.
man can
Or
survive.
extinct species, I
Yes.
should say. Sorry for my...
He's not extinct,
dash.
clearly.
Oh, yeah, he's not.
They're endangered.
Okay, yeah, they're endangered due to Chris
Chris
Bosh.
Bosh's his liveliness.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Melo, so he has turned down, rumor has it, the Houston offer, but they did come out and say that he has not formally rejected any offers. So
Did Houston give him the max deal?
Oh, they
the
are.
max contract?
Houston's just looking for whatever they can get.
Yeah, they want to get their own version of a big three, and they'll go as far.
Do you think Dwight Howard will stay in Houston?
He has no. There's no way he can leave. I forgot how big his contract is, but he's there for another
there for
3
a
or
while.
4
And I feel
years.
like he likes things there with Harden, and he finally has someone that he can play with and have some sort of.
I think Dwight Howard is soft, and you heard it from me first. I think
Soft.
he.
What do you mean? You heard it from you first. We've been saying Dwight Howard's a solid.
I would love for big 7 foot, built like a truck Dwight Howard to come in here, and
AKA Superman,
and then you
right?
look at him in the face and say, "Man, you're soft."
I'll be like this. I will look him up and be like,
Yeah.
Dwight, I will point this rude ass finger at his face. Dwight, you are soft. Because this man does not play basketball. He is Superman. He should be arguably one of the greatest centers in the league. He should be the best center in the league right now. He should be dominating the post. Should be dominating the paint. Given the fact that he came out as Superman. When he played with Orlando, when he was actually living the hype of Superman, he took Orlando. He took him to the championship, did he not? If not to the conference
took him to the finals against
and
LA.
they lost. They lost. But at the same time, that team was solely centered around Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard was dominating. I mean, they had Turkoglu, they had they had players around him, but Dwight Howard was the center of that team.
Yeah.
I think he has fallen real far from the tree since Orlando, and has gotten softer.
Well, I mean, he's also been injured. He's had back problems, and I, for one, can speak on problems of chronic back problems.
You're damn right.
It ain't no fun. So I can see why he's gotten a lot less explosive, why he's considered soft. I mean, I don't think Dwight Howard ever had a post game to speak of, but it's understandable why he's soft if it's because of all the back injuries. And I think now that he finally got that time off from that point in LA, and he finally got to recover from the surgery. I think he's going to be all right in Houston. Just give him another season or so. I don't know if he's going to be as dominating.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to just say, who do you guys think, based on all the trade and free agency talks going on? There's talks of Powell. There's lots of teams talks of Powell going to. One of which I've heard is the Rockets. Who do you think would be a better fit for them? Get a guy like Powell or bring in someone like Bosch? Do you think that who's going to round that team off better?
I think Bosch would be a better fit.
Bosch.
I agree with
You
that.
agree?
I think Bosch would be a better fit. One, because he's younger.
Yeah.
Bosch has been healthy for most of his career.
Well, do you think they're going to put themselves in a hole by giving him that max contract when they can maybe bring in a guy like Powell and not enough money?
I think
Powell's kind of at the end of his career.
Okay.
I think Powell, not the end of his career, but I think he's on the downslope. If it was somebody like Marc Gasol, his brother, then I say go for it. I say you get rid of that contract, that whatever you offered Bosch and offer it to Marc Gasol. But I think Paul Gasol in himself, he's kind of like, he's getting older. He's moving slower. I think Dwight Howard, they play the same position. Paul is not that versatile. I mean, he might have a jumper from maybe 12 feet away, and it's still outside the paint, but still kind of within the arc, and it's still wet. But I think that Dwight Howard can already fill that void.
Well, if you said Powell's not that versatile, I'm gonna, give you a verbal slap across the face, because Powell plays the power forward and he plays the center.
What I'm
Mostly
saying is
power forward.
He's not like Chris Bosh in terms where he could just shoot. I mean, Chris Bosh has no right going behind a 3-pointer when he has Dwayne Wade, Ray Allen, and other people shooting the ball. Norris Cole.
Yeah, but
he still can. He's able to produce those 3-point shooters, and he can get hot from the arc.
Well, yeah, because but I mean, it helps. It's a
Is
different
Paul
aspect of the
Gasol
game.
gonna get hot from the arc?
Well, no,
it's
but
not
that's
gonna
not his. That's not his style of play. He's never been that style of play.
Right, but I can see if there's a mismatch. If somebody loses the match, I can see Chris Bosh playing and guarding the center. I can see Chris Bosh, being able to defend the paint. If it says somebody gets mixed up and they're playing man, a switch happens and now he's stuck with against Tim Duncan. I can see Chris Bosh putting up and contesting Tim Duncan or Paul Gasol or Dwight Howard because he can do that. But he can also go and contest the point guard. But versus Paul Gasol, you're not going to put Paul Gasol on the point guard. Even if he does get mixed up, you're going to try to get him as fast as possible back down to the paint because that's where he belongs. He's not fast enough to guard, a point guard. He's not he doesn't have the hands. He's not, he doesn't have the basketball sense to kind of guard a point guard.
So you think that Chris Bosh can guard a point guard?
No, I'm saying that I would trust Chris Bosh more to do that. I think Chris Bosh is a little bit more versatile in the sense that you could put him anywhere on the court. I don't trust him anywhere on the court, but he'll do better than Paul Gasol than if Paul Gasol was anywhere on the court. If that makes sense.
I guess.
No. Okay. That's how I feel. Cover 3.
But
I agree with you guys, though. I think Bosch would be the better fit. He'll be the same age coming out of that contract in 4 years that Powell is right now.
Yeah.
But Powell, he's had a pretty decorated career. He's won 2 NBA ships. He's won some Olympic gold medals. He was the Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's someone that...
He's a solid player.
I feel like he's the kind of guy that people down the road, or he's kind of going to get lost in the shuffle of all the LeBrons and D-Wades and Dwight Howards, but we got to see someone who's pretty good that might not be the biggest household name.
I don't see Powell leaving, though. Especially if they land Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
Which I hope they land Carmelo Anthony.
If Carmelo's... Hold on.
Are you copping a Carmelo Lakers jersey?
No, I can't stand Carmelo.
He doesn't
That's what
like
I mean.
Melo.
Yeah,
I want Melo to... Did you see the contract they offered Carmelo Anthony?
Oh,
5 years, $129 million.
Yeah.
Do not get me started. I do not want to talk about this.
Was it 5? 129?
Yes,
They
it's
paid
5
5
years,
years.
$129 million. That's $25.8 million a year.
For what?
I don't know.
For
For
Melo.
what?
Can you tell me?
I wish I knew.
Can somebody tell me?
Offer me that contract. I'll probably do better than Melo. Maybe not,
Well,
but I'm
here's
just
the thing.
saying.
We had somewhat of a heated discussion on here talking about would LeBron get the ball passed to him if he was with Kobe. Here's an equally similar question. Would Carmelo get the ball passed to him if he was
But
with
you
Kobe?
know what? Who's the biggest
Or would,
advocator?
let me put it like this, would Melo pass the ball to Kobe?
Who's the biggest
opposite
advocator
way.
in Los Angeles right now pushing for Melo?
I'd say
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
And this
Besides
guy-
you,
and this
besides
guy-
you, Kobe Bryant is pulling. He has a lot of say in the upper management, in the front office of the Laker organization. Just because
As much as they don't like to admit.
yeah, as much as they
Oh,
don't,
yeah.
they're gonna sit there and deny. But whatever Kobe says is whatever Kobe goes. It's whatever Lakers are gonna do. and Kobe said, "I want Melo." And look at Lakers bringing an absurd contract to Melo's front door. 126, 129?
No, that's the Knicks.
Oh, excuse me. Okay,
Lakers have
4 years,
96.
96.
Lakers is
That's what I thought.
496.
So 4
Just
years,
like
90,
Bosh, same
96,
contract.
right? So still 4 years, $96 million, and you know. What did Melo do this past season with the Knicks, or the season before that with the Knicks? You know,
They won the scoring title.
he did win the scoring title, but this past season, what did he do? You're a Knicks fan, so please enlighten me.
Yeah, I mean, he averaged 28 points a game.
Mm-hmm. Was he cohesive enough?
No.
Did he fit the mold in the Knicks?
I mean, the Knicks' problems were. I honestly don't.
Did he fit the mold of the Knicks? I mean, we could ask our viewers that too, right?
The Knicks' problems are Carmelo Anthony and greater than Carmelo Anthony. You know, there's front office problems. You can't really sign anybody. You can't. It's Carmelo, but it's also a lack of discipline in the front office to stop Carmelo. So I think he would be a good fit in LA. I think he would be a good fit with Kobe. I think playing with Kobe would be a great spot for him. And I'm a huge Kobe fan. I want to see Kobe get another championship. So, Melo, please leave.
I actually do see that. I see that Melo and Kobe could get along really well.
I don't think they would get along really well.
I mean, like on the
But
court.
I don't think so at all. I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains.
They did play on the USA team together, did they not?
I mean, they all played together on
Yeah.
the USA team, but it doesn't
And
mean
they
they're
were
going to play well
forced,
together.
and they were forced to play cohesive, and you know they were forced to play together. They were forced to work together, and they were forced to play in strict role positions.
Yeah, but it's completely different when you're on the USA team when you have.
I mean, that was the new dream team, if I'm not.
Yeah, but it's
mistaken.
completely different when you have 5 of the best players. Well, okay, a roster of the 12 best players in the world playing together, and then you have the Lakers where it's just going to be Kobe, Pau, Melo, and then Julius Randle, and then whoever else.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's a completely different
Right.
scenario. So I think there's going to be a lot of clashing. There's going to be a lot of growing pains if that happens. And I pray to the sports heavens that does
Sports
happen.
gods.
Yeah, I pray that happens because
You look like you're losing sleep over that, man.
I'm so upset. I want Melo gone.
It hurts.
When I found out about that contract, I flipped out. Like, how is there going to be any help in New York? How are you going to? I mean, we're going to have our most cap space next year, but
Yeah. Well, you know, if Melo does leave New York, you know what he's gonna miss? He's gonna miss that thin pizza they have there in New York. You know what he can get in return? He could go to the Chicago Bulls. You know what he could eat? Some deep dish pizza from Uno.
I knew it was coming.
Guys, Uno Bar and Grill,
It was coming.
a friend of the program. Stop in there, get your pizza, get your beer, have good times with friends. And while you're at it, you know, join their email club.
You're
Go to
buying
unos.com.
Unos, bro. You're buying Unos for
I'll
us.
treat everyone to some Unos at some point. I know there's one here in the. Is there still that one over by Dulles? No. There's
No,
an Uno
sadly.
somewhere around here.
it's in Fairfax.
We'll
I'm
find
gonna
that
look it up.
location.
It's by the house, actually.
And who else we got? Emron. Who else is a friend of the program here?
You know, we got, you know, our friendly neighborhood U.S. government taking keeping an eye on all of us as the citizens of the United States and doing their duties to protect, serve, educate, inform, and do everything it can to, you know, let us live in the greatest country in the world. I mean, that's our opinion.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's perfect because it was just the birth of this greatest country
Yeah.
a couple of days ago, you know.
The anniversary of the birth.
The anniversary of the
country
birth,
was not
excuse me.
born.
Right.
Contrary to popular
Yeah.
belief,
I said
the
that's
country
the
was not born.
birthday.
I
The
gotcha.
birthday.
The
That's what I
birthday.
wanted to say.
Yeah.
The birthday.
Even though, according to Smart Guy, the program in the 90s, Declaration of Independence was signed on the 2nd of August.
It was,
officially,
yeah.
Not the 4th of July. Fun
But who
tidbit.
likes the middle of the summer over, you know,
Yeah,
kind of towards
the
the-
July 4th has a ring to it.
It
It's
does.
just-
You
it's
know, it's
great.
4th of July, 7-4, and then you got August.
the 2nd of August. That sounds
That doesn't
like,
sound great. It doesn't roll off
Yeah,
the
it
tongue.
doesn't.
But anyways, you know, respect to the U.S. government, and
Yeah.
you know, thanks for sponsoring us and hosting us in your beautiful country and let us be able to speak our minds. You know, the freedom of
Yeah.
speech, and I love talking,
Yeah.
and we all know this,
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
right? So let's talk some
Yeah,
more.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Before we talk some more, I want to give a shout out to BG's Corner. Let's hit it.
Theme music coming soon. We don't know what it is, but it's coming soon.
I like that.
Yeah,
We're gonna keep that.
We're gonna
You
keep
should
that.
actually do a voiceover.
Oh, do a voiceover? So the gimmick is going to be that there is no theme music.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's coming soon.
It's coming
Every
soon.
time. You're just gonna have to.
That is good.
And then one day Dave Grohl graces the set of our show and he gives us a theme song. Is that too wishful thinking?
I think we can. I think we can hit that off eventually.
Maybe.
Okay.
But I like that idea, because the fact that you guys have arenas and continents
Yes.
and whatnot.
It is officially a continent, not a country.
Right.
Yeah,
So since you guys have arenas and continents, and then you just got a little corner, all I need is some theme music without any
Yeah.
words. Or
Yeah.
words about
without
Yeah.
words
fake
about
theme music.
words
Can we
about-
give up theme music again? Can we hit that?
Da-na-na-na-na.
I think
forget the words because there are no words to BG.
You know what? You should hit the
song.
Carlton. Just
Yeah.
I think that would probably hit it with that theme song.
I mean,
You fit the mold.
do I?
You do, just a little bit.
All right.
Just a little
Well,
bit. But
anyways,
if you want to see him do the Carlton, just shoot us some questions at the cover3 or cover3questions at gmail.com. And not even questions, just shoot us a comment saying we want to see Brandon do the Carlton.
whoa, excuse me. It's the BG Wooten. You refer to me as that.
No. They refer to you as that. I still refer to you as Brandon.
Yeah. But speaking of your corner, Brandon, what
Let's
was
go back to BG corner.
Thank you,
before
thank
we
you.
finish up our division rankings this episode?
I'm sorry?
We're going to get into the division rankings.
Yeah, right.
What do you
right.
want to touch on
Yeah, you
before we get
confused
to
me.
that?
All right.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You threw him off guard.
Yeah, I was just, oh.
So let me bring it back. BG's corner. Spotlight's on you, brother. What do we got for us today?
I want to be able to sound off about how livid I am about the Knicks giving out this contract to Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony is going to go on record about how he wants championships. He's doing whatever possible to get championships. The Spurs are quietly re-signing everybody with exactly
With ease.
with ease, and they're cutting their payment. They're cutting their contracts in half. They're taking less money, to be able to sign more people or spread the wealth and whatnot to keep the same nucleus
Because
together.
they are a team.
They've built
And they're unselfish. Carmelo Anthony needs to be unselfish. And I understand that, you need to do what's best for you and what's best for your family. But $129 million is not what's best for your family. You play basketball in New York City. Let me tell you why. Because you play basketball in New York City. You can easily take whatever amount of money you're making, you can easily take that and probably make more or less in advertising contracts. You can make a lot of money. Hold on, wait, this is BG's corner, not Aziz's rebuttals cutting in.
Aziz's arena is gonna come with the thunder. Just wait. Just go ahead and
Regardless,
finish.
you can take less money, go ahead and refill that money in with advertising contracts. And then also, if you win a championship and in New York, do you know how much money you would make?
Oh yeah, you would be on the Big Apple, the biggest billboards in Times Square.
Exactly.
You'd be selling number 7 jerseys in shops that aren't even sports shops.
The New York Knicks have not seen.
So you want to keep Melo? Is what you're saying for a less amount of money, or are you saying get rid of Melo?
If he's going to take $129 million, I do not want any parts of Carmelo Anthony.
But if he's going to take that
If
4-year
he's-
96, would you be down for it?
No.
Then he's not going to take any less than that.
That's still a
then.
max contract.
Hold on, I don't see him getting $129 million if he's taking less than 4 year 96 with advertising, with all this. That is great for his family.
Hey.
Why do you
Hey,
think that
and you're
$129 is not
forgetting
great for
about
his family?
the Lakers, part of their pitch, we did not mention this on today's program yet, an original movie starring Carmelo Anthony in his life story. They have pitched that to LeBron.
Yeah, Phil Jackson doesn't do that.
Yeah,
Zen
exactly.
Master don't play that.
Yeah.
He's going to tell you what it is and what it could be.
But
But
that's why Phil Jackson is not at the Lakers organization anymore.
actually, they wanted him. He decided
He
that
said,
he ended up with the Knicks.
because why? Because the Lakers organization kind of shafted him a couple years
Regardless, this is still BG's corner.
Yeah, I interrupted. I apologize.
Thank you.
You did say very
Not
common
accepted.
statements.
Anyways, there are complete ways to restructure your contract and take less money.
How less are we talking?
I think
You know what?
I think
A lot
what
less
Brandon's
than
trying to
96
say-
million. If you want to have a championship come as badly as you say you do, take less money, bring in more players, and work at it.
So what would you sign him to?
I think what he's trying to say is that that Carmelo can still make all the money in the world
Through
advertising. But that
advertising.
money does not need to come through the salary cap.
Right.
That is going to hinder their team to not bring in players to
Other
compete with
players,
him.
right.
So give him the kind of deal, or let him think about his advertising and how he can make just as much money. Stay in New York, build something that's worth watching.
But
Because-
Melo was, I want a ring. I want this. I want my family to be fed. I want blah blah blah. I this. I.
You mean
I
LeBron?
want
So he
126.
wants to
You
be
know
LeBron.
who else said?
course.
But you know
LeBron, which
LeBron.
is you're a fan of.
But LeBron
took
the
less
ball.
money.
Yeah.
LeBron dishes the ball and took
Yeah.
less money and got 2
Okay.
championships. So he is not LeBron. He is always and forever will be LeBron's shadow.
You know what else he ain't? He ain't a part of BG's Corner, and this is still BG's Corner. Anyways,
Is it coming to a wrap soon, right?
it's about to come to a wrap.
Please,
Just
good
need to get this
God.
last point out. He could easily take less money, the LeBron route. LeBron took less money to get more players in.
Yeah.
Could do that. And you know who the last great New York Knicks basketball player was that said he needed more money to take care of his family?
Who's that?
Latrell Sprewell.
Ooh.
BG's Corner's over. Thank you.
Hey, I used to have him spinning in the hallways in elementary school. I'd stop on a dime and have the.
Just
Yeah, you gotta, you gotta be careful.
Still
You gotta be
spinning?
careful.
All right.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, but last show, guys. If you didn't listen, please head over to the Cover 3 website at cover3.weebly.com. We did about half of the AFC East before we had to.
You mean the Podbean? We had the podcast on Podbean.
Oh yeah,
Just search Cover 3.
which you can find on our website.
or on acextremesports.com, baby. Just look for us all on there.
We were able to finish up about half of the East. We touched on the Jets and the Dolphins shortly. The Bills and Patriots. I'd like to start off with the Bills.
Go ahead.
This
I'm
is
down
a
with
team
that.
that I'm excited about. I'll say, other than the Redskins when Madden comes out, this is the team I'm going to choose to play with. This is a team that has a. Hey, that's how I choose whether or not I think a team is going to do good. If I look at their roster and I want to play with them in Madden, I think they're going to do pretty well. They are going to be missing a huge piece in Kiko Alonso.
Kiko Alonso.
The defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
That is going to be a huge blow. But they were able to bring in the draft Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
And
He
Great
is
pickup.
an amazing player. I've
Yeah.
seen him play down at Clemson, and I saw him live actually. It wasn't against Virginia Tech. I was just down there for the festivities. I also got to see Taj Boyd. But seeing Sammy Watkins play, I believe he was a freshman when I saw him play. Man, does that man have a talent? As a
Yeah.
freshman, just burning the
Oh, yeah.
Florida State Seminoles, who, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years later just won had that big title.
They did.
Yeah, so.
which supposedly they're going to win 2 or 3 more because
Right.
Jameis is staying in Florida.
Yeah, Jameis
until he
Winston's taking it.
graduates. But that offense, its identity has changed over the last few years.
It has.
They had Marshawn and Fred Davis for a while. They brought in a guy like C.J. Spiller who's got a lot of speed.
Yep.
They've traded away Stevie Johnson, who has probably been the leader of that offense these past few years, the only reliable
Yep.
person on that offense.
The only mainstay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and CJ has been a great player, but he cut some of his time with Fred
Yeah.
Jackson. He's going to get even more time cut with Bryce Brown, I believe his name is. They traded
Yep.
for from the Eagles. EJ Manuel coming into his second year. How do you guys think EJ Manuel is going to be doing in the long run, not just this season? Do you think this is going to be a pick they regret? They took him pretty high. He was the first quarterback drafted last year. Is this something they're going to regret? Is this something that's a franchise type move for them? Is he the franchise quarterback, or is he going to be this guy like a Matt Castle or someone like Matt Schaub, someone along those lines, an average starter in the NFL? What do you think about EJ?
Take it away, Brandon.
Oh, you let me go?
Yeah, let's just start ladies first. Oh, I apologize. Yeah, go ahead. The BG first. No?
No.
Is it assault if I just jump across this table and lay the smack down?
You can give me the people's elbow.
Give you the people's
later,
elbow?
later. Yeah.
So we can get some wrestling talking.
Yeah. I mean, I would like Kevin to be here because he needs to judge it. Because I don't want like the first attempt with the people's elbow to be a poor attempt. Because I'm gonna still get injured.
Yeah.
But if it's a poor attempt, then I can't show it to the viewers.
Anyways.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll put on the back burner.
EJ, a former FSU quarterback
Yeah.
himself.
No, I like EJ Manuel. I don't see any problems with him. He was injured
Yeah.
going into last season. I really don't see any problems with him. I think he can be a great, viable NFL quarterback.
Do you see him as a 5 years down the road? Does EJ have a new contract in hand that's at top tier franchise money? Do you think?
I think it's too soon to call because last
soon to
season
call.
he only played 10 games. I got his numbers up right here: 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But on a struggling Bills offense, it's not like he had too much help going into last season. Now he's got Sammy Watkins.
I think that's key that you pointed out is that the Bills offense it wasn't fit for him to come in, and for the fact that he still did produce 11 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in
19
out of 10 games only.
Yeah,
they're averaging 1 point, maybe 1 touchdowns a game, and you're looking at like the fact that he did get injured, and he's coming off a team that also doesn't really have much of protection to give him protection around the pocket.
All
Right?
they have is
of course.
Eric Wood at
Right.
center. They lost
And
Andy Levitre
so,
last season to the Titans.
For him to actually even play 10 games, always being hunted down and always being like on his back, and still be able to produce more touchdowns over interceptions.
Yeah.
I think he's a good fit for that team. I think he's a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Just brought to a wrong team. We had that same argument where you said Russell Wilson is not that good of a quarterback, but the pieces around him.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback, but
it's not like Andrew Luck or something like
his
that.
play is improved from who's around him. EJ is probably not the same mold of player, but he needs those other players around him.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, they're an offense that's going to start and end with a run. They're a team that's always got CJ, Fred, and now Bryce Brown in that backfield.
And EJ Manuel can also rush.
EJ got some
EJ can
burners.
scoot up and down the
He
field.
can hit the feet.
Yeah, and it's an offense that's going to be interesting to watch. I feel like that was a power move to bring in Sammy.
If they bring in the pistol option, I would not be.
I could see him put a little wrinkle in there every now and then.
I don't know how well he would do in the pistol.
I
the
feel like
quickness
if they
for it,
put it as just a small part of the offense every now and then, red zone situations, goal line situations where you don't know. Are they going to give it to the big power back Fred or the big EJ's a pretty big dude?
He is a big dude.
Or are you going to give it to EJ who can run and has got some size to him?
Yeah.
That defense, as I mentioned before, Kiko Alonso, huge loss. He probably made himself the best defensive player on that team after one season, and that's a defense that boasts Mario Williams, a Pro Bowl player, former #1 overall pick, a great player, and I'd say Kiko Alonso has probably surpassed him in terms of dominance on that defense. They lost a huge piece of Jarius Byrd in that defense. Do you think that's going to affect them much? Do you think Jarius Byrd is that big of a deal in the secondary? Because they got some other pieces in the secondary. They drafted Aaron Williams a few years ago. They have Stephen Gilmore, a good pick. But Jarius Byrd has been a perennial All-Pro, Pro Bowl player.
I think when you always lose an All-Pro, Pro Bowl player, it's going to hurt you regardless of what it is, right? Whether it be a great loss or whether it be a minuscule loss, either way, it's still going to hurt the Bills in that secondary. You're not going to look at other teams looking to go that route, wherever there's a void, So I think that the Bills did pick up some great players and they can condition them and get them ready to do so, but without having, Jarius Byrd, it's not going to be the same. I think he was a big token to that defense because he had a lot of energy. He brought a lot of energy to that team. And,
he's a ball hawk.
Yeah,
in its purest definition, he's a ball hawk.
Exactly. And so that level of excitement and that adrenaline that he brings to the team is going to be the void that they're going to be missing. Yeah. And I think that you could bring in other players to fill that void and to fill that gap, but it's just not going to happen. It's not going to be the same.
It's going to be tough to fill the Kiko void as well.
That's going to be a huge hole in their defense.
Yeah.
Just trying to
talks are that they're trying to have another rookie step in, take that role. I don't see that happening. And the front four is something that is great. Mario Williams is a stud.
Yeah.
Kyle Williams is probably the most underrated defensive lineman in the league. Big defensive tackle in Buffalo. I think they're fine up front. The front four, that is, not the front seven. The back end, like I said, they've done very well drafting the secondary, but that Bird loss is going to be huge. He's probably on terms of that, like almost Ed Reed level in his prime in Baltimore. That center fielder, you can almost call him. And if you guys like the Bills, if you listeners out there are a Bills fan, and you want to draft some of those players in fantasy football, what better place to do your fantasy football league than AOL? AOL's got a great fantasy football league. You can go sign up for it right now. The league's going to be starting come preseason time. I know we're going to be in a fantasy league, guys.
Am I going to be invited this time?
Oh yeah.
I know you. Some of our friends who do not follow football.
But here, we have an ongoing league every year, and I have to.
I'm going to on-go myself
I
into
have
that
to
league.
invite everyone who was already in it from the year before. We're going to have another league this year, though, a Cover 3 league. People here involved at AC Extreme Sports. We'll keep you updated on that once that league begins at cover3.weebly.com.
Yes, we will.
At acextremesports.com. It'll be great, yeah, if you're interested. I feel like there's a CJ Spiller, that's a steal in fantasy if anyone grabs him. Sammy might be a steal.
Sammy's going to be.
When
Sammy.
I got AJ Green his rookie season, that was a steal when I got him. No one was expecting AJ to put up those kind of stats.
Right.
Sammy's going to be the only part of that passing game that I feel like is going to be worthy of taking one of those earlier rounds.
Who are you taking your first overall pick?
My first.
I know we're in the same league. You know, this is a little
Here's
taboo,
the thing.
but
if I'm
welcoming.
Okay, yeah. Here's the thing. You'll be welcome, everyone. Obviously, I'm tweaking the teams. As right now, what I'm looking at in fantasy, if I have the number 1 overall pick, as much as it hurts me to say as a Redskins fan, there's a bad man in Philadelphia. There's a bad man in Philly. He goes by Shady. I'm taking Shady number 1 overall.
He is a bad man.
We got the
crowd.
The peanut gallery over here is not a fan of the young man. I can respect a great running back when I see one, but you know what my strategy is going to be?
But hold on, would that affect your numbers now that he might be sharing carries with Darren Sproles?
No, he's not going to be sharing too many carries.
I don't see that either.
Darren Sproles is going to be more of that change of pace. You put him in on 3rd down and put him in the flat, catch a few balls.
Same role Darren Sproles has been playing for the past 3 years.
Sproles
it's not going to change.
What Darren Sproles is putting up stats when he had LT in his backfield, and Shady isn't even LT yet. So I could see that he can still put up stats with Shady still putting up his full numbers.
And he said yet.
Yeah.
He's not LT
he said
yet.
Not LT yet. I was going to say Shady's a different animal than LT.
Oh, he's a different animal.
Completely.
LT is more of a stand-up runner, hit like
kind
of like Eddie George.
He's going to run to you,
shake and bake to him. But
Eddie,
But personally, I don't want the number 1 overall pick. I want to have the last pick of the first round.
So you can have the first,
so I can have the first, the second.
That's what I always go for.
And what would you do if you had the last?
Well, I can't say that right now because I'm not going to know how the dominoes fall at the first round. But I'm probably I usually like to draft a running back first.
That's where
you want to grab your running back first, and maybe even make your second pick a running back because all fantasy leagues nowadays have 2 running backs.
Yeah.
But I hate if one of those big time receivers drops, I doubt, because I know a friend of the program, Rika, or someone along those lines, is going to grab a Calvin or something like that in the first round before anyone's able to snag him. But if I'm able to get one of those big time receivers like a Calvin, I'm not going to say a Julio because he was injured last season. I'd probably say
he's coming off the injury.
Like a Jeff Gordon, if he were to be playing, or Josh Gordon, excuse me. Josh Gordon, if you were to play, I had him.
Yeah.
I had Josh Gordon.
Jeff Gordon was playing in the NFL on that NASCAR.
Yeah, it was dirty.
Yeah.
Serious fantasy points.
He could hit some serious left routes.
He could. His curve routes are nice.
Well, let's not get
Gordon.
too. Josh Gordon.
I'm very upset to say that because I had him on my fantasy team last year, and he produced, if not the most numbers on my team, besides the quarterback in itself. You know, the quarterback position always puts up ridiculous numbers, but Josh Gordon, to be suspended for the first 4 games, come back and still have a great fantasy season like he did, it hurts from a fantasy perspective. To see that he's out for the season. I mean, it also hurts that you don't have your head on straight and that you just need a little help. I believe the ex-captain, I believe the ex-Browns captain said that Josh Gordon needs a little bit of help, off the field because he's just not fully all there.
Well, hold on. Who are you taking first pick?
Me?
Yeah, fantasy. Because, we're going to get to Josh Gordon in a bit.
Yeah,
we'll
wrap the show with that. We might have to save it for when we hit the AFC North.
Let's wrap the show.
Well, hold on. Who are you getting? Who's your first pick, Manis?
My first pick.
Who would you take? Let's make this quick.
I would have to agree with Shady, but I'm not going to pick. If you pick me for me, you take Shady. I would probably pick up.
Might have to move your hand from your mouth, because
I'm not sure. That's a tough call.
Here, I'll put it like this: if Emron chose Shady and I'm the second pick, I'm taking Jamal.
Jamal
Charles. He accounted for 60% of that team's offense last year.
Maybe Noshawn. I'll probably pick Noshawn.
Oh my God!
This is why, though.
Oh my God!
But this is why,
first pick. Fantasy draft.
Whoa.
If I was the very last pick in the first round,
Okay,
then
well,
yes.
that's a different story.
If I was the very last pick in the fantasy round, in the first round, I'd pick Noshan because I picked Noshan in the 11th round in my last fantasy, and
Yeah.
he proved to be my number one running back.
But-
and he had disgusting numbers putting up there.
But let's see, was he not behind one of the best offensive lines
He
in the league?
was. He was behind
Was he
great.
not playing with the Sheriff?
He was
he
playing
not
with the
playing
Sheriff.
with the best
But
wide
now-
receiver
I mean,
core in
you
the
know,
league?
Do you realize he's in Miami
I
now?
know that.
Do you
but-
realize that the best receiver of that core is Mike Wallace?
Yes.
Who they already know how he's getting the ball with his deep.
I understand this, but at the same time,
I
I don't want to give. I don't want to give Noshan the. I
he
want to give
starting?
him the doubt.
No, he's on. He's injured right now, sitting
He's
out.
on injury
and
reserve
as of
right
right now. Lamar Miller is the starting running
Yeah.
back.
Noshan might not be the starting running back
No.
of the Miami Dolphins. It was-
So,
definitely.
You know what?
Let's move. We'll have fantasy chat. You're
Give your running back.
sorry.
David Wilson.
I'm not picking a running back first pick.
Who are you gonna pick?
I'm gonna pick a quarterback.
There's only one to take if we're taking it in the top 5.
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
That's.
I had Aaron Rodgers making his comeback this year.
You would take
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm taking
first.
Aaron Rodgers.
So I'd probably take him on a list of quarterback. I'd probably take.
Unless I have like the first overall pick and I can grab my running back then.
I'm
But if
taking
not,
in
taking Aaron.
quarterbacks. I'm taking Sheriff first.
Yeah.
Drew second.
Yeah.
Aaron third. That's my drop down.
Drew?
I'm taking Drew second.
You don't think Drew's about to start?
I'll put
On the
Romo
decline?
on my top three.
I think Drew's putting up
I'll
4,200 plus passing yards.
put Tony
Again?
Romo on my top three.
Oh yeah,
bro.
I'm saying Drew puts up 4,200.
I'll take the Sheriff and I'll take Tony Romo next. Because
What?
Tony Romo has been a consistent fantasy.
Whoa! I had
Fantasy
Tony
quarterback.
Romo on my backup to RG3 last year, and RG3 still outperformed Tony Romo.
Cause are you sure about that? The
Oh,
numbers that Romo put up.
RG. Well,
Yeah.
if we're talking about pure, yeah, RG3 put up 3,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
I'm talking.
Those are solid.
What type of league were you in?
We were in just a straight up.
Just regular,
I
straight
didn't
up. I think
change
in the
any.
straight up league,
I
Romo
didn't
had
change
more
any of the
points than-
passing statistics other
Romo
than.
had some pretty good numbers. Fantasy.
Yeah, like,
I'm not
the first
talking
2 games.
Listen, I'm not talking. You know how he plays in the NFL. Actually, I'm talking about the points he brings. If we're talking about fantasy,
I know,
we're
and I'm
talking
telling
about
you.
fantasy points.
RG3 did better for me than Tony Romo did.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys.
Anyway.
Anyway, we're gonna have to have a fantasy
Yeah.
chat another time.
We should have a fantasy segment.
Yeah, we are gonna have that next program.
can't wait.
Yeah.
Last team in the AFC East is the Patriots. The team that we can all be consensus is going to win the division.
Number one in the division.
I don't think we're ever going to see any time where they don't win the division. Last time they didn't, I believe, was when Matt Castle was starting for the team, and they still
They
went
still
They
made the
still
playoffs.
win, yeah, they still-
they went
yeah,
10
they-
and no, did they? I think they went 10-6 and
I'm pretty sure they
missed
did.
the playoffs.
No, I thought they went to the first round of the playoffs.
I thought they made the playoffs that year. Was
with
it
Matt
07?
Castle. The
Actually,
Jets,
no, I
the
think
Jets
that-
were
yeah,
like
Jack-
12
they
and
were
4,
wild-carded that,
and that
right?
was the year that the Dolphins went from like worst team in the league to a playoff team randomly.
That was the wild card they lost, I believe.
This is a team that has made free agent strides that we normally do not see them take. They went and grabbed high-profile players like
Right.
Darrelle Revis,
Yep.
like Brandon Browner, like Adrian Wilson. They solidified that secondary that already had McCourty in the backfield. I'm not sure which one. He's got a twin over in Tennessee, Devin McCourty. I'm not sure which one plays in New England, but they're both great players. Hey, they look so similar and they play so similar.
It's
I
true.
can never tell the difference between the two.
I couldn't either.
They're a team that's made some great moves lately. They draft well, as always. The biggest question always going into the season, though, is their wide receiving core. Danny Amendola is going to still be there. They still have Julian Edelman. Their rushing game, they added... No, they did not add anybody. They lost LeGarrette Blount.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a team that's got a lot of moving pieces this offseason when they're normally a team of somewhat stability.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to add, like I mentioned before, Brandon Browner and Darrelle Revis, which I think... this isn't really going to be an outlandish statement. I'm going to just say it here, even though we haven't got through all of our divisions. My Super Bowl choice this year is the AFC representative being the New England Patriots. That's my choice. New England Patriots go to the Super Bowl from the AFC, take down, as much as I love Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning probably my favorite quarterback growing up and still to this day, but Tom has a fire in him, and we saw that last season when they beat the Broncos.
We saw the disappointment in the Sheriff's face. Yes,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
What do you guys feel about that? You see Bill bringing another one home? I don't know if they're going to win it, but I feel like they're going to win
think
that.
they're gonna get to
I think
the
they're going
Super
to win the AFC Championship to get to the Super Bowl.
You know what? I really hope that they do make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And as a home runner, I hope it's the Giants in the Super Bowl again, so we can get another one.
History tells us it will be the Giants if the Patriots go to the Super Bowl.
Because it's, I think it's every what?
Every few years,
It's like it's been every like 3 years
Yeah.
now. I think we're on the third year. It's
Yeah.
time for another Giants Super Bowl.
Giants Patriots.
But I don't know. It's I think it's way too early to call. I mean,
It is way too
Obviously,
on paper because of their
on paper,
defense.
I'm talking, obviously
he did say outlandish.
this is without seeing what injuries are throughout the season, without
Right.
seeing what other teams shock the world. But on paper, based on offseason moves, based on Tom Brady being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, they have a shot. I think they get it this year with having Darrell and Brandon Browner back there, and Adrian Wilson, who was the stud in Arizona all those years.
Did they lose Brandon Spikes?
Yeah, Spikes. But funny, we did not mention that he is playing for the Bills, but he took over Kiko Alonso's middle linebacker spot. They shifted Kiko over to strong side or weak side. It escapes me right now which side they moved him to. But Brandon Spikes is on the Bills now. He's someone but he was a 2-down player.
I'm a huge Brandon Spikes fan.
I like him too, but he's a 2-down player. He plays on rushing downs only.
Yeah.
He's not going to play on that 3rd down passing down.
No, it's true.
And they're a team that drafts well in the front. Even though they're not big household names, Dante Hightower, maybe he can finally step up and show
Right.
why he was worthy to be a first or second round pick.
Yep.
Chandler coming off the edge, another first round pick. And if I'm not mistaken, they took a kid that had a fair amount of hype coming out of him. Did they take Coney Ely? Hold on a second. Nope, that was the Panthers. I'm mistaken. Fan base. But they know how to draft well, and obviously any team with Tom Brady is going to do pretty well. The running game is probably their biggest area of weakness. Shane Vereen has lit the field up whenever he sees it. He's able to catch balls deep, able to run it up the hole, but Stephen Lee was a huge disappointment last year. I don't know what they're going to do in the running game without LeGarrette Blount, who seemed to kind of hold things together last year. I think they're going to win the division. How about you guys?
I agree. I think that they made the right moves to get them a solid spot. And then, I don't think it's going to be a contest. I think Tom Brady still got that fire. We saw it last year against the sheriff, the rivalry, Payne and Tom. Yeah. We saw it happen. Tom Brady came out, and they were down for a particular time, and he came back with the fire in his eyes. I think Tom Brady still has to do it again this season, and I think for a couple more seasons, if that. I think that the Patriots are bringing a team around Tom Brady yet again, so he can take another run, and I think that they can make a pretty far run in the playoffs. I'm not gonna say that Super Bowl just yet because I do not know the injury statuses of certain players.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
But on paper, right now, if they do not get injured and the players are 100% healthy, I would say that they would face the Broncos in the AFC, title game, and then that they would advance. So
you think they're going to be 1 and 2? Because I feel like that's the most realistic way for them to both play each other. So they're both first or second seed in their division, or their conference, I should say. Mm-hmm. I think they'll be making a sprint towards that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And speaking of sprint, guys, here on our program, as you can probably see if you're watching us on Ustream, we're all sitting here on laptops. Maybe one day I want to make the switch over to a tablet. Right now at Sprint, you can get a Galaxy 3 tab for $49.99.
I hear they do have unlimited everything plan, and we get unlimited data, so you could be on your tablet, unlimited, just surfing the web on the beach.
I know, it's great, and you can even buy online and go to your local Sprint store and pick it up there.
That's amazing.
Things like that is what makes Sprint a great carrier to switch over to. Things have just been a lot better.
Yeah,
since people switch over to Sprint. And moving on here to our.
Can we get a rankings?
A rankings
of the division? Like where is it? What do you guys see?
Everyone's okay. I'll tell you what mine is. I'm saying Patriots finish first.
Right.
We got the Bills second. We got the Jets third. This is tough. This is a division with so many questions outside of the Patriots.
Yes.
You know what? As much as I like the Bills, I'm gonna have to not push them. I'm going to say it's going to be the Patriots, Dolphins, Bills, Jets.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
I thought you were going to say Jets second. I was I was about to,
Yeah.
ring the alarm if you said Jets in second.
You have Dolphins in second, huh?
Hey, I was a huge fan of Mike Wallace. When
But
he
y'all
was,
were just making fun of No Sean Moreno.
But because no Sean,
I'm not taking him first.
I think
Fantasy.
Sean is gonna break 600 yards this season.
He might. I have faith in my boy No Sean.
I feel like Lamar's gonna put up the most. I'd probably. No, I'm not gonna say I'd take Daniel Thomas, but
even with the gaps that they have after losing, all those linemen.
oh yeah, and then they lost Richie Incognito.
Yeah,
they
Richie
lost
Incognito,
but
the three other linemen.
I feel like they're
Isn't Pouncey
making.
hurt too?
Yeah.
Is it a serious injury? If he is?
I think he's out for
A good bit.
a good bit. Yeah.
Well, that is crushing to them.
I mean, there's
if it
two
is.
of them, so
It's
I can't
tough.
remember which one
I just
it was.
feel like the Dolphins win teams. I'm not sure about the teams. They somehow pull it out and they're able to do well. The defense is Brent Grimes. Their pass rush is sick. Their pass rush is nasty. They got a lot of good pieces on that defense. So I don't know. It's tough. It's kind of that division where anybody that's under the Patriots, you don't know.
Yeah. See, for me, I have it like you do, except for it's reversed. I have, you're 2 and 3. I have flopped. Patriots obviously winning the division.
Okay.
Second place, I've got the Bills.
Okay.
I think EJ Manuel is going to be
Yeah.
there. I think it's going to be show up season for them. I definitely see the Bills defense stepping up. I think the Bills are going to be all right.
Okay.
Third, the Dolphins, and fourth,
Okay.
the Jets. Can't get over the butt fumble.
How about you, Emron?
All right. I'm going to go with Patriots number 1.
Okay.
Bills number 2. I'm going
Okay.
to have to agree. Jets are going to come in number 3 for me.
All right.
I think that Michael Vick is going to have enough of an influence on Geno Smith, if not, for Rex to even start Michael.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to come back and do something. Even their defense is looking better. So
Okay.
I think that it's tough. I think I'm going to put Jets 3 and Miami 4th. I just still can't get over the fact that Miami has a lot of gaps, and they still they just need to work on that. And
They do.
I mean, their offensive weapons, they have some, but it's not what the rest of the AFC East has.
I just feel like Mike Wallace year 2 is going to make strides. He's not going to be as much of a one-dimensional player. And Ryan Tannehill, people forget, is very young at the quarterback position. He had only played the position for one full season at. Did he play at A&M as well?
Mike Wallace?
No.
I zoned out. I'm
Ryan
sorry.
Tannehill. No, sorry.
Ryan Tannehill?
A quick Google search.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played at A&M.
A quick
Yeah,
AOL
he did
search.
play at A&M. It's crazy to think how someone like Johnny Manziel can overshadow Ryan Tannehill, who is a first-round quarterback. I think Ryan Tannehill is progressing in his game. He's probably someone people would talk a lot more about if people like Luck and RG3 and Wilson weren't taken in his same draft class.
Right.
But moving on here, we're going to be hitting the NFC North. Going to do things about 7 minutes per team, hopefully. Who would I'll ask you guys like to start off with? Bears, Vikings, Packers, Lions. Who's most interesting to you? What pops out to you in that division?
Let's go with the Vikings first.
Vikings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
My main man, Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
I'm sorry, BG. What did you want?
First-
I'm sorry. Let's do a consensus. I'm sorry. I didn't even ask you. What do you want?
I just want to talk about my man, Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Discount double check.
I was gonna say for the
How
last.
about this?
I was gonna say for the
How
last.
about this? Since we don't make any hard feelings here, we'll start with the Bears.
Oh God,
Okay. The Bears. The Bears who boast, in my opinion, the best wide receiving duo in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
They got some bad men up there in Brandon Marshall.
The
and-
bad men.
Yeah.
Can we call them that from now on? that tandem? Bad man.
I think we got to make a petition to Chicago for that.
Just have that on the jerseys. Have it.
I mean, they look like brothers too. Have you seen them?
They're very equal in size, and they can both make stupendous plays.
Alshon Jeffrey is a phenomenal receiver.
Yeah.
Next to of course, Brandon
Alshon,
Marshall.
yeah. I might take, purely based on youth, I might take Alshon
Yeah,
over. I
exactly.
might take Alshon over Brandon.
I'll take Alshon
Just
over
'cause he's
Brandon.
younger, yeah.
Yeah, because he looks like he might be better than Brandon Marshall, even though Brandon Marshall, people compared to T.O. in his heyday.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to see how comparisons make comparisons. And,
It's funny how when you if you're watching like SportsCenter or whatnot, and you see Brandon Marshall on there giving interviews, and then they talk about the Chicago Bears, and then they just sit there and say, "You're not really the best player on the Bears wide receiving core anymore."
It's crazy.
And he's
to
just
think.
like, You're right.
Yeah,
I have to accept
know.
it.
He has to accept it.
Yeah.
Alshon
When
is
would you
making
think
plays.
that you would say that?
Never.
I would never say it, 'cause I
Especially
have a
with
big
him, with
ego.
his homeboy Jay Cutler there
Yeah.
in Chicago. I mean, they're best of buds,
Yeah.
and he's still throwing it up to Alshon. Like, it's crazy, that offense. Matt Forte, very solid player.
Yeah.
He's not someone that makes the most flashy of plays.
But he gets the job done.
He's a lunch pail kind of guy. He comes to work every day. That defense, though, they were able to retain the two big questions, which were Charles Tillman and Tim Jennings.
And they also picked up Jared Allen.
Yeah, Jared Allen. That was surprising to me. They lost. I feel like that was the right move to make.
Oh, yeah.
They got rid of Julius Peppers, brought in Jared Allen. Jared Allen, people forget, he's probably a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's averaged over 10 sacks a year in his career.
If there was any way to be more than a first ballot Hall of Famer, he would be that.
Yeah,
I could like they should forego having to wait because of Jared Allen's career is that great and
Yeah.
amazing, and he's been consistent.
Yeah.
Who has been that consistent?
Yeah, I know. I don't
like,
know.
coming off the line.
Yeah, I don't know if like anyone like Kevin Green or like anyone like that was able to do it. But if he's able to put up another 10+ sack season, we'd have to do the research on this and get back to you guys. But I don't know if anyone else has been able to play for 3 different teams and put up 10 sacks a season for each one of those teams. That's pretty impressive. He was balling out when he was on the Chiefs.
The last time he put up less than 10 sacks was in 2006. He put up 7.5, and his rookie season he put up 9, which is
Does it
ridiculous.
tell you how many games he played when he put up 7.5?
When he put up 7.5, he played his full 16.
Okay.
But there's
He was still young in his career.
Yeah.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
only his 3rd season, and in his 1st season, he only started 10 games. He only played 15, so
Yeah.
Right.
that's not always the
Right.
same. And he had 9 sacks then as a
Yep.
rookie.
Yeah. And so like that, he'll be coming off the edge. He'll be doing great things for that defense. They did lose Melton to your Dallas
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
That might be somewhat of a loss in that interior line. It's a team that every year though, you got Jay Cutler, and people make it seem as if this team begins and ends with Jay Cutler's
Do you
play.
think the Bears? But yeah, I understand it begins and ends with Jay Cutler. But do you think the Bears are going back to the Bears and what they were usually known for was their defense?
No. This
No,
is a team
right?
that's going to be
Offensively.
offense, and I'd say they're very balanced offense.
So it's very unorthodox for the Bears to go off the approach.
Yeah.
Where we used to know them as, Urlacher and then the
Yeah.
defense, the Bears defense, and how
Yeah.
they would just take control of the game, and you wouldn't be able to put points against the Bears.
Yeah.
Now they're going the complete opposite
Yeah,
route.
a lot of teams are like the Steelers. I feel like they're starting to slowly make that
Yeah.
switch, drafting guys like Tree Archer and retaining guys like Antonio Brown.
So no, does defense win games anymore?
Oh yeah,
Of course. I mean, you saw the second most recent Super Bowl.
Seattle
Yeah.
Seahawks.
Well, you
Yeah.
saw that
Probably
Super
the
Bowl,
second
and you
best
even
defense
saw
of all
Yeah.
time.
the past 2 Super Bowls. You saw the Seattle's defense, and then you saw the Ravens defense. You know,
I'd still
Yeah.
call them the best of all time.
Well, Seattle was
Defense.
the number
Yeah.
1 defense last year, and then Ravens
Yeah.
was the number 1 defense their year when they won the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, right? So,
But the Ravens, some stats on them, if I remember correctly, over a span of 8 games in that season, they allowed 22 points.
yeah.
22 points. That means for all the other games in that season, they were averaging under 10 points a game. But if you take out those 22 points over 8 games, they're averaging allowing 16 or 17 points a game. That is sick. No one does that. No one does that. It's sick. People forget about the Buccaneers. They're in that conversation too. The 0-2 Buccaneers.
Yep.
They were sick.
oh my God, I used to love that team.
They were so good with the great John Gruden, whose younger brother is going to bring his greatness to DC. That's for another day. We'll talk about Jay, but I don't know. The Bears, I feel like they're a playoff team.
Especially on paper.
I feel like
I
they're
can
solid.
definitely see them being
They're
a playoff
solid
team.
enough across the board where you can pinpoint weaknesses, but for the most part, they got a lot of good pieces on that team.
Yeah.
Some of their moves that they made in the past are kind of skeptical when they traded away Greg Olsen after
Yeah.
these great years.
Yeah.
Those have obviously worked out. We knew what direction they were trying to go in to get the big wideouts.
And I mean, they pulled in
And
Martellus
they-
Bennett also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
Martellus
showed
Bennett.
up. He went to the Giants for a season, got his
Yeah.
career back on track, and then showed up for
Yeah.
Chicago
A
last
quote-
year.
a quote from
He actually
Martellus.
did a really good job.
A
with
quote from
Chicago.
Martellus, he specifically said that he forgets the first 4 years he played in the league because he was so bad. And
Yeah.
what team was that he was playing for again?
I don't
Is
want
it-
y'all
is
to
it-
say it.
I'm sorry.
I think let me just pause.
Pause. The Dallas Cowboys. He publicly says now that his rookie season was with the Giants because the Cowboys did not he couldn't play with the Cowboys?
He's just a hater, bro.
Hey, I'm
Who's
sorry.
that? Who's a hater? I think.
Yeah.
Martellus Bennett is a
Oh,
hater.
Martellus Bennett's a hater. Okay.
Yeah. But
Who sits there and says and denies their rookie season just because you played terrible?
they
the
obviously,
Cowboys,
there's
and
something
he's gonna
about the
sit
structure of
that
that
organization,
organization.
yeah.
It just does not allow people to strive. I mean,
You know what? Well, good thing we're not talking about the NFC East, right?
yeah, we're
so
not.
let's
That ship has sailed.
That ship
Yeah.
has sailed.
But since you guys wanted to talk Vikings Packers, I'll move on to the Lions next one. Not to hurt any feelings. We'll knock out the Bears and Lions first.
Megatron.
Yeah, Megatron, the first name everyone thinks of, probably the face of the franchise
Yeah.
there in Detroit. And they also have a guy who was probably one of the most household names in the NFL and college football a few years ago, Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
He has been under the radar the past
Can you
year or
believe
two.
that was almost a decade ago?
The whole Rose Bowl thing?
Yeah, the
So
whole
that-
Heisman thing
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
That's probably coming
wait,
up on a
he hit
anniversary
the-
soon.
Wait, what do you mean Heisman? What do you mean Rose Bowl? None of
Oh, that never happened. That never happened. You're right.
Yeah,
That's
you're
right.
I don't know what you guys are talking about because that apparently never happened according to the NCAA and USC. But this
No, we can acknowledge him for he
Okay,
should deserve
he's
the
great.
Heisman
Yeah.
there, and whatever the NCAA and USC says and takes away from him,
Yeah.
he still was a solid player that game.
Yeah.
I believe who did he play in the Rose Bowl game?
VY.
Yeah,
Vince Young.
Vince Young. And where's Vince Young today?
I don't know.
He is.
He's not where Reggie Bush is. Let's
He
just
is-
say
He
that.
is officially retired, I believe.
He's
Um,
not
I think
Reggie
everybody
Bush
in that game. Is anybody in that game that's still playing?
Matt Leinert's not playing.
Michael Huff, is he still playing?
Michael Huff signed with the Patriots last offseason, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure who he's playing with
He's
now.
a free agent still.
He's a free agent.
Yeah.
One and done with Bill. The Lions are a team that, you know, they always have, the past few years at least, have had pretty good expectations because they have a guy in Matt Stafford that puts up Drew Brees-like numbers. He puts up those 4,000, 5,000 yard passing yards, and he has people on that offense that help him out a lot, but their defense really can't keep him in games that often. Luis Delmas, I don't know if he stayed with the team. He was a great piece of that defense. They're able to sign a couple other people. Miami Dolphins, Luis Delmas went to.
Okay.
Oh,
So they signed Chris Houston to a huge
Yeah.
contract last season, cut him this offseason. So they really don't know what they're doing on defense. They obviously
do you
have,
think? Oh, my bad. But do you think this is the year that Nick Fairley
No.
steps up?
No.
Do you think he was a? You think it's fine to tout him as a bust?
I'm not going to tout him as a bust because he is playing next to high caliber guys in Ndamukong Suh, and for a while there he was playing next to Cliff Averill.
We all know Don
Kyle
Sue.
Van Bosch also.
Yeah, Kyle
Yeah.
Van Den Bosch is there now.
Well, he's gone now. But
Oh, is he gone now?
yeah.
Okay, well, he was one and done with them, I guess, too. I don't know what they're going to be doing on defense. It's always questions with them. I always liked their offense going into the season, especially when they had Javid Best. I liked Javid
Yeah.
Best a lot until, unfortunately, very sadly, concussion injuries had to end his career. But Reggie Bush has definitely filled that void and put up great numbers for them. They
Don't
have
forget about Joique Bell.
Jokey Bell.
Yeah.
Joique?
Joique.
I think it's Jokey.
I think it's Joe Key.
I think it's
I
Joe
thought it was
Keefe.
Joique.
I mean, I thought it was Joique too when I first saw it. He had a random game this season that he put up like crazy numbers.
And you know what?
You picked him up.
I
off
picked
the
him
waiver
up. I picked
wire.
him off the
Yeah.
waiver wire.
That was a great pickup.
I mean, even then he was still playing pretty consistent.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was week one where I said I need to pick
Yeah.
him up off waivers.
Yeah, which was interesting to see that they went from that kind of dual back threat
Yeah.
from day one with Reggie. This is a team that I don't know what to say about them. Their receiving core is obviously going to do well. Their offense is going to put up good numbers, but their defense can just not keep them in games.
How do you think Matthew Stafford's going to do with the new head coach Jim Caldwell?
I don't know how.
That's right. We haven't even
Yeah,
acknowledged
We
that.
didn't acknowledge
We
the
did
fact
not
that their
acknowledge that.
head, I mean, they have a new
Well,
head
here-
coach. They have a new playing style.
Yeah, they do.
Is
I don't know
Matt-
how much. I can't really speak too much on Jim Caldwell just because they didn't keep him in Indy too long after Tony
Right.
Dungy left, which
Right.
kind of tells me that if he was somewhat of Tony Dungy's handpicked predecessor, and he really didn't
I
have
think that's what it was.
I feel like he was grooming him to be the next guy.
Okay.
And that he went from that team. I mean, maybe he was able to. Maybe I'll bite my words because he did go to the Ravens that next
Yeah.
season and did well enough there that he was able to go get a head coaching job
Right.
like that. Again, within people have short-term memory in the NFL.
Right.
They were able to give him a job. So
So he always seemed a little
I
passive.
don't know. Yeah, he has that Tony Dungy feel to him that he's not gonna get in your face and yell. He's the opposite of, I feel like, of a Jim Schwartz, their former head coach.
Yeah.
Who we didn't touch on that either.
No.
Is the defensive coordinator for the Bills. And
Right.
He's not that Greg Schiano who has some crazy weird job with the Cleveland Browns now with no specific title. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the Lions are. A team, I don't know what they're going to do. I feel like they're going to put up good offensive numbers, but
Yeah, their receiving core, just the offense in general. The offense is explosive. I definitely see them pulling through.
yeah.
Just at least offensively, putting up good numbers consistently. I like the pickup of Kevin Ogletree.
Yeah.
I
like
thought that was
too.
a great pickup for them. I mean,
I
former
think,
Cowboys
of course,
player.
I think it's a great pickup of
Also, we're forgetting Golden Tate.
Golden Tate's
yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
Golden
Yeah.
Golden Tate.
Went over. And
So we know their offense is gonna. Let's not beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
Their offense is gonna be solid.
Will the question I'll pose is, will Matt Stafford be able to, jumpstart that offense though? Because at the end of the day, it goes back to Matt
Yeah.
Stafford, and he had Megatron, and there were some mistakes that he's made.
I
and
like Matt Stafford, and
I think it's a great fit.
I compare Matt Stafford to. He doesn't run around as much as him,
Right.
but the way he throws the football, he's very Brett Favre-esque.
Okay.
He's going to put up huge stats.
Okay.
But that's going to come with a grain of salt, which is interceptions. He's
Right.
going to throw a few interceptions here and there,
A few.
which people are always going to hate on him for. But he's been a solid, I'd say he's been a solid number one overall
Yeah.
pick.
you know what I see with Matthew Stafford and his interception rates? I do like the fact that they drafted Eric Ebron
Oh, yeah.
to go alongside of Brandon Pettigrew on
Yeah.
the sides.
Sick.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna bring down his interception.
I like
rates.
Eric, yeah, me too.
If they go a dual tight end set.
Yeah, well, here's what Eric Ebron has come out himself and said. He said in mini camps, OTAs, all that jazz so far, he's playing 50% of his snaps with his hand in the ground, 40% of his snaps in the slot or outside, 10% of his snaps in the backfield.
Wow.
Yeah, he's putting about 10% of his snaps in the backfield, which tells me they're going to run a split back there. Maybe put some big boys, Joe Key, if that is how we pronounce his name. Let me pose that, listeners. If you know the pronunciation of the big 35 back from the Lions, please shoot us an answer of that at cover3questions@gmail.com. They're going to maybe run a split offense in the backfield, put a little Ebron and Pettigrew on the field at the same time. We don't know what they're going to be doing, but basically defense needs to step it up in Detroit because they've too many years now have been a lowly franchise in the NFL, and jersey changes and logo changes can't change that. Football play has to do that. Any closing thoughts on the Lions, guys?
I like the Lions.
I like the Lions as well.
I believe the word you used was explosive.
Yep.
And
Explosive. Yep.
if any of our listeners in the Northern Virginia area want to make their game more explosive, head over to EP. We have our resident EP former client here. He gives you guys a 2 thumbs up. You're going to find that your game is going to just improve after going to these guys. They're going to help you in every aspect of your game, whatever you want to improve on. They'll listen, they'll help you out, they'll train you well. Moving on to our next team here. Our show's going to be wrapping up here in the next 15 minutes or so, guys. Who would you guys, after we've gotten to our last teams, like to? You guys want to do rock, paper, scissors or
We'll
something?
rock, paper, scissors.
Let's do 1 out of 1, not a 2 out of 3.
This
Is that
is
a
a
date?
date. Yeah. You know what? I haven't eaten all day today.
Nah, I understand that.
And
That's-
I'm breaking my fast for the day.
All right.
all right, anyways.
But I'll rock paper scissors first. All right.
Yeah,
One
maybe
match,
you gotta
one
make
match,
sure
not 2 out of 3.
See it on the camera. You gotta bring your hands up. All right, ready?
Rock paper scissors shoot.
Ah!
Wow. We can start
So we're going with the Packers, right?
Vikings. Okay, Vikings. A team with a new offensive coordinator. We really haven't started off talking about coaching with any of our teams, but I'm a Norv Turner fan. Norv Turner is hopefully going to turn things around in this offense that really only boasts AP as their main guy on offense. They drafted an absolute stud in Patterson last year. Cordarrelle, I'm not sure how you pronounce the first name.
I think it's Cordell.
I think it's
Cordell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's a stud. He's going to put up big numbers this year. Greg Jennings might have to take the back seat to him. They have some tight ends there. Kyle Rudolph, who's great. The big question, obviously, being the quarterback position. They have 3 guys who have been said all have equal opportunity to start.
Yeah.
Which I somewhat believe, somewhat think Matt Castle has the job in the bag. But Teddy Bridgewater, you never know. He was somewhat of I'd say the best fit of where quarterbacks went in the first round.
Right.
I'd say if you had to look at where Bortles went, where Manziel went, where Bridgewater went, he has the best fit going forward.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with
Yeah,
that?
I thought Teddy Bridgewater was my favorite quarterback going into the
me
draft.
too.
I don't understand. Quite frankly, I'm upset that Johnny Manziel went over Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I
It
think
worked out for Teddy in the best, though. He
Yeah.
publicly
Yeah.
came out and said it. They might have been a little mad at him in Cleveland. He said he didn't want to go to Cleveland, and he's happy
Yeah.
landed in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Teddy Bridgewater he's going to be a decent quarterback. I think out of this draft class, when it goes to the future, I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the best
I
quarterback.
mean, clearly
in that
he's not
class.
making headlines already.
He's
and
not.
It's not the NFL.
He's-
So I think.
Hey, you were perfectly okay with that before.
Until as of late. I have no problem him living up his youth and being a kid and, going out and partying because we all partied before.
Yeah.
We like to party.
Let's not
right?
get too off topic with the Johnny Manziel. I hate to get off topic.
You're right,
With
you're right.
Our show coming to a close.
Coming to a
moments
close.
Here. Yeah.
Let's
And
say
me
that
not
for
getting to
another
talk
day.
about the
AFC
Packers.
North. Okay.
Let's say that for another day.
But basically, Johnny Manziel is an idiot so far with his off-the-field antics. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, moving on.
Okay.
So Bridgewater,
But
I agree.
Bridgewater, does he have a shot to have playing time this year without an injury being what brings him into the game?
I think so.
You think so?
I think the fact that Minnesota did bring Teddy Bridgewater in and also pick up, Matt Castle, that
Yeah.
well, they already had.
They already have Matt Castle.
Excuse me. That they brought Teddy Bridgewater, somebody that's a high caliber quarterback that
Yeah.
was already prospected to go
Yeah.
with other teams.
He was touted as the most efficient
Yeah.
quarterback, NFL-ready quarterback coming in the
And
draft.
they were lacking last year also, and they've been lacking the last couple of years in the quarterback position. And it's been prevalent. You've seen that in the last games that they can't even really throw the ball like that. You see Adrian Peterson doing all the legwork. That they're going to bring in Teddy Bridgewater and try to give him a chance. I don't think Matt Castle's a starting quarterback right now. I think it's up for
Really?
grabs. I think Teddy Bridgewater. I think they brought Teddy Bridgewater in. I think they're in minicamp right now, and they're going back and forth and they're saying who's a better quarterback.
Okay.
And I think that position is really solely up for grabs. I mean, I don't think. Why would you pick up Teddy Bridgewater without giving him an equal chance to start off the season?
This makes a good point for us to talk about. What would you guys, if you had to guess right now, what does the Vikings depth chart, barring any injuries, at quarterback look like going into week 1 of the regular season? What would you predict their depth chart looks like? Based off of what you've said, Teddy's at the top of the depth chart.
Yeah, I'd say
He's-
Teddy,
he's
then
Teddy,
Matt Castle, then Christian Ponder.
What about you?
I see Matt Castle, Teddy. Then I really can't see Christian Ponder.
Making the team? Or
I can see him making the team, but I can see him asking for a trade.
what,
trying to
if
leave.
an injury or something happens?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I don't see. I see Christian Ponder at the bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
I don't see Teddy. I don't think Teddy's going to
This
start
might-
at the beginning
yeah,
of the season.
This might shock you. I like Teddy a lot. I like Teddy a lot.
I do
but
too.
purely based off what Norv has come out and said, I think it's going to be Castle, Ponder, Teddy. And
Really?
that comes with an asterisk next to it. If, let's say they enter the season, I don't know if this is exactly what goes on the minds of head coaches, but let's say Castle enters the season and mid-game gets injured.
Right.
Okay? I feel like they're going to bring in Christian Ponder to be that reliever, to come in and play for him. But the next coming weeks, I feel like they would hand that position over to Teddy Bridgewater. So I feel like a depth chart would be Castle, Ponder, Bridgewater, but if they had to go with a whole new starting quarterback, they're going to just give it to Teddy at that point
Right.
because your season's probably already at a loss
Right.
if your guy who you went in to be your starter. Maybe not. Maybe Teddy could bring him to the playoffs.
So you think that's because that they would put Ponder in for Teddy because Ponder has more experience? in
Yes, I feel like
offense?
yeah. Oh no, because they have a new offense with Norv this
Right,
year, but I think
so-
he has more.
NFL.
More NFL experience the past few years. It's not much, but you don't want to put Teddy in there under fire and have him put anything on tape that's
Right.
gonna make the fan base think even less of him because
Right.
they did just take a guy in Christian Ponder who might have been thrown into the fire too early,
Right.
And they don't want the same thing to happen to Teddy,
Right.
Teddy doesn't have the biggest arm in the world,
No.
so they don't want things that could be bad about him.
But he is a
put in
pretty
the public
versatile
light.
quarterback, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's very efficient as well. Other things quickly touch on with the Vikings. We said their wide receiver core. AP, we don't need to say anything about him. The dude is a horse.
He is.
He's the best running back of our
Yeah.
generation.
And he was
probably.
completely injured last season too. Did he have a
Yeah.
hernia?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He came out and
That's
said he had a hernia
ridiculous.
and rushed for like 1,300 or 1,400
Yeah.
yards.
You know what? I completely forgot about Adrian Peterson. I would pick him first. And if you were to take Shady, I would take Adrian Peterson.
Okay, that's respectable. Very respectable.
You can't change it. You already said you would take no Sean Murray.
If I was the last round of the first
Yeah,
draft.
that's a big disconnect on the
Oh, man,
spectrum
it is.
between No Sean and AP.
You're very right.
I think that's what we should have our hot or cold segment from a scale from AP to no Sean.
Yeah, very much so.
You're getting really No Sean over here.
Yeah. Quickly though, their defense, they made a lot of moves last season. They drafted Xavier, his last name was, the cornerback, Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah.
He's going to be a very good player down the road. They got a defensive tackle last year who will hopefully be the guy that replaces Kevin Williams at some point. Pass rush, though, did lose Jared Allen that we mentioned, went into the division to the Bears.
Yep.
That's a big loss. They're hoping that Everson Griffin, who they gave fat money for not a lot of production in the past, that's a risky contract, I believe. I don't know if Everson Griffin is going to pan out. But their number one overall pick that they took before Teddy in the first round was Anthony Barr, a kid who's a freak coming off the edge from UCLA. I feel like if anyone's going to take over for the pass rushing prowess of Jared Allen, it's going to be Barr, not Everson Griffin.
Is he going to be outside linebacker still, or is he going to be
Barr? I feel like their defense is going to run that hybrid where some place he's going to be in space. Most of the time he's going to be rushing down the field. Any closing points on the Vikings, guys?
No, I think we should just get the ball rolling over to BG's Green Bay.
we only got 5 minutes left.
We could spitball 5 minutes.
Yeah,
we could pick up at the end of our next show. At the beginning of our next show, excuse me.
Yeah, we'll be able to touch on it. Speaking of fantasy, a guy that disappointed me a little bit last year, he still put up great numbers. Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
I like Randall Cobb a lot, but I feel like Jordy Nelson is the number one there now.
Yeah.
With James Jones gone to Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Jennings has been gone for a year or two.
Greg Jennings is in Minnesota, so.
Yeah, so it's going to be the Jordy and Randall show over there.
It's a completely new look. It's
they got a power running game.
Yeah.
They got a solid running back, and unfortunately, we'd also have to break this news to you guys if you didn't hear. Jonathan Franklin, who was drafted as kind of the change of pace back to Eddie Lacy, who had great promise to his career, had a very devastating neck injury last season. He has announced that he is retiring from the game after one injury-riddled season.
That's tough.
Condolences to him and his family, and he will, I'm sure, find his way and find a great career.
Yeah.
Sounds like a smart guy.
And what's going on with I'm drawing a complete blank. The tight end from Green Bay.
Oh, Jermichael Finley? He's still on the open market. He has yet to sign with a team.
Does not sign.
Yeah, and he's a guy that I don't think they really need back. He's a guy that...
injury problems, too.
Yeah.
He's got the neck injury.
We're seeing a change in the Packers recently with how their offense is going to be working. Mainly Eddie Lacy. Dude is a beast. I feel like he's going to be a top 5 back in the next few years.
I love Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
I loved him the second he was, coming out of college and the way he played. I believe it was Alabama. And he was just run and gun. Reminded me of Marion Barber. He goes for the hits. He's not dodging it.
Yeah.
He's going into the hit.
Oh, yeah.
And he's dropping you first.
Yeah.
And I love the way that, Green Bay never really had a run game like him before they brought him on.
Committee. That's where they're running.
Marty Green.
And
was the last.
That was the last time they had a solid back on the team. James Starks gave him a little bit of a spark every now and then.
A little, he kind of played like a little shady, kind of juking people out, a little speed. But
so I don't know. Their defense, like we mentioned earlier with the Bears.
Yeah.
Julius Peppers is
now gone over.
Yeah, he's on the Packers now. He is a Green Bay Packer.
It's nice to see them all stay in the
North.
It's
weird to see two pass rushing guys. They didn't go from team to team, but they went to teams within the division, and one of them replacing the other guy, which is kind of funny.
Especially in a rivalry.
Right.
Yeah, a rivalry. It's weird to see.
I do think Aaron Rodgers has that comeback season. And it's weird to say that Aaron Rodgers has to have a comeback season
because he's arguably the best quarterback in the game.
Yeah, but he's. I think it's going to be
arguably, definitely.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a very well-off season this year.
I like this kind of double check. I like Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers can bring it back. I think he's never really fallen off. I just think that he's kind of been, living in the shadow of the great sheriff.
Ever since Peyton has had this resurgence of his career in Denver.
I mean,
A-Rod,
he comes back and 2 back-to-back seasons producing amazing numbers.
Yeah.
And the second season, he takes them to the championship Super Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, how bad they lost, aside from all that, his numbers as a quarterback kind of just overshadowed the fact that Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees and all the other great quarterbacks are still putting up numbers. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers fell off. I just think that Aaron Rodgers is an overshadowed quarterback. I think he just didn't have a team around him.
Yeah.
Now he's got some people to throw to. Some people,
got some great weapons.
He's
And
got
that
an
defense,
offense.
it's normally a bunch of no names outside of
Yeah.
AJ Hawk and Clay Matthews.
Yep.
But they do got good players like there. Teron Williams, definitely not a household name.
Josh Boyd.
Yeah, they got some good guys on that team. Brandon, if you'd like to touch any more on this on our next
Look at this next
program.
Well, we got we got a little bit in. We will get back into it maybe next time.
Yeah.
If we got the time.
We want to give him a feeler for you, bro.
Appreciate
to
it.
come in if you want to hear.
Well, we can go ahead and rank.
Yeah,
Okay, that'll be our last thing
yeah.
we do on the program.
So-
Emron, you can start off first.
I'm gonna go with the Green Bay taking 1. I'm gonna go with
Alright.
Detroit number 2. Actually no. I'll go Green Bay 1, Bears 2, Detroit 3, and Vikings last.
All right.
I've got Chicago 1, Green
All
Bay
right.
2, but they're still grabbing a wild card.
Yeah.
At 3, I've got Detroit, and last I've got Minnesota.
All right. Well, I'll start from bottom to top. I'll say Vikings are finishing last. Lions are finishing third. We got the Packers finishing first. Bears finishing second. And if you guys want to see those rankings, we'll have them up on cover3.weebly.com. And until next time, guys, this is us at Cover 3 from Atlantic Coast Extreme Sports. Have a good one.
Good night.